Hello, everybody! We are here with the Ordeals of Livistio gang. However, one of them is currently stuck in traffic in France at 2 a.m. The other one is at work and will join us midway through the stream, for he is the fashionably late prince. So say hello, facilitators who are here.
Hello,
Hello,
facilitators
facilitators
who are here.
Hello, facilitators who are here.
It doesn't get old, guys, as we meme jack much better streamers than ourselves. Guys, how's your week end? It was Easter, I believe, right? Yeah, that's why we weren't on Sunday, and we're now on Monday.
It was great.
It
What'd
was
you
a
do?
holiday.
I've just played Helldivers. I've not functioned as a human.
Wow. Red, what were you up to?
Catholicism.
Oh, that's nice.
Sounds time consuming.
Very much is.
Henrietta, what about you?
Well, I dyed my hair.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
And yeah, I don't know if anyone can tell. And then I did some day drinking, and that's about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Blood of Christ. Blood of
Pink
Christ.
hair and
Mhm.
adverbs.
Blood of Christ, right into my body and on my hair. So that's where this came from. That's
That's strangely magenta.
Listen.
You know,
We don't judge. We don't judge in this house. The house of our Lord.
Yes, Glynis.
Glennis.
The house of our Lord.
Dang. How was your weekend?
Also a bit of day drinking, and then copious amounts of blood on the clock tower, and then designing a sea monster leviathan for a game I'm in, and it got out of hand, and now it is the size of the UK.
Wow.
Wow.
So small.
Yeah, it's pretty small actually. I think I'll probably increase the size of it.
That is
We
fair.
made it the
Sea
size of
monsters are based. Mine was great. Thanks for asking, though.
Bigger
God,
than
you
UK.
guys. No one cares.
How was yours, John?
No, it's too late.
How
It's
was
too late, man.
yours?
It was
Speaking of
actually
too
really
late,
fun.
Hey, John, how's your weekend?
Hey, John.
Wow. Thanks, Red. See, Red
No
cares
problem.
about me.
Always here.
Oh, you're on Helldivers, so.
I was on Helldivers a little bit this morning, and a little bit last night, and then I don't know. Every time I get on, I hit O to see if you have space in your party, Rube, and it's just like 4 out of 4. I don't know how you're always maxed out on friends, but I'm kind of jealous more than I am concerned that you have more friends.
I have a
than me.
level 20 squad and a level 50 squad.
Jesus Christ. You're a gamer. That's what you are.
I'm a nerd.
But other than that, the nephews and nieces came over. They got eggs, like chocolate egg things. Someone gave me a massive Reese's, chocolate egg thing. So it was just this peanut butter filled contraption, which I ate, and now I'm feeling a little bit sick. I'm not gonna lie, but we don't care about health here. Here in the Dungeons and Dragons crew, or show, or game, universe, the multiverse, we now care about partying hardy. It is currently the 2nd of, I believe, February, guys. When are we going to make a fantasy calendar? Are you guys ready for the John makes a fantasy calendar based off the Egyptian calendar, where every month is 30 days for easier, keeping track?
What
Where are the
session did we do
holidays?
that?
They had it
Okay.
right. Fuck Caesar. Why did he invent August?
Oh, I don't know.
What
Or
about
July,
Julius?
maybe?
We're not gonna talk about that guy.
Listen. He died
Julius is
eventually.
cool.
You're too cool for school. What happened last week? Does anyone remember? Who wants recap experience?
Do you want a Yonsei recap?
Always.
Did you do it last time?
I don't remember what I
Yeah.
did last time.
I'm digging.
Don't ask me
into
these
that.
questions.
Who
I
did it
think-
last time?
It was
It
Yonsei.
was Yonsei because they weren't here, and they also got the horse quiz correct, which gave them extra XP.
Oh, the horse quiz. Yes, we
Horse
care
quiz.
about.
Yeah.
This wasn't just my ploy to get extra
Griselda.
XP, I promise.
I think if we're doing a fair distribution of extra XP, I think it's Sneffer's turn.
Sneffer is looking at his quite sparse notes because he was sick last week, and would pleasantly like to pass that opportunity on.
Sneffer, I have my full belief that you got these notes.
You gotta
on
pull a
lock.
Yonsei. Just
I was
In
on
your
so many
head.
drugs last week.
You got
It
this. Just think
looked
about
like
like
it.
roughly what happened and just like fill in the gaps with sort of true information.
Yeah.
I have a note that says Yonsei is suspicious.
I am.
I mean, that's just always true.
Yeah. They are sus for sure.
Like
I
this
mean, I
is the
sold
least
poison.
amount of notes I've ever taken.
I sold poison to a shop.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
created Disums. But we started the session with Yonsei, who was a little absent before, having taken a bath and received a startling parcel that they took as a present and used as a towel. That parcel was indeed our magenta-backed banner.
Yeah, it rubbed off on me a little bit, unfortunately. It's not great dye, preservatives back then. It was just pee. So
It's just piss. So much piss.
it was just piss.
This is the most sparse my notes have ever been. Actually.
Oh man.
Um,
Well, does anyone want to tag in to help?
Yeah,
Rube
I'll
here?
keep this train going. So I believe, if I'm correct, we were about to just immediately head back to the castle before deciding we could go talk to the guard guy. Found out no information. Then we did head back. If I am correct.
We did find out some information, I believe. We found out.
Nothing useful, if I'm correct.
I want to point out,
Absolutely.
Red,
It
when
was
you
like,
say
alright.
that is a massive slap in the face to any DM. Oh, we had a 20-minute conversation and found out nothing. Like,
That is I already know what I need to know. It's werewolves.
Jesus Christ.
Okay? It's
Oh.
just werewolves. We'll find
we
out.
did talk to the halfling sheriff.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked to the halfling sheriff. It was
Gnome
He
sheriff.
was a gnome, I was about to say.
gnome sheriff. Oh, it was great.
The halflings were running like a weird gambling ring.
We needed a writ signed by the prince, who just so happened to share Glynis's name,
Crazy.
which is a crazy coincidence and birthday. Let's see.
You just
We
filled it out
found
right
out.
there.
Yeah, we found out that apparently it wasn't the Undertaker who discovered the body, but a group of the townsfolk, which is not what the Undertaker said. What else did we find out? We learned some things about the halflings, but it's fading from
It
my
was-
mind at the moment.
Gambling ring by the
was-
river.
Dimitri's belief that the halflings had a large criminal enterprise. And he was looking into that shortly before he
Yeah.
was eviscerated.
Yes, this is what Dimitri, the town bully, was doing.
We did learn about some guests coming to the party. We did meet, we saw the head druid.
Yeah.
In all of
And
his resplendent barbaric splendor. We did learn that Myceli Wymark is coming to represent the Wymark family, as well as a contingent from Njord.
Yes. Did we have a
And that's all my notes
conversation
say.
with anyone important, Henrietta?
Nope.
No, not at all.
We talked to Yonsei's aunt and uncle, half uncle, hunkle,
A
As we
hunkle,
said.
if you will. He's quite a
a
hunk.
hunkle,
yeah.
if you will.
Yeah.
Who turns out demon hunting is like apparently like a family thing, which like whoa, news, you know? Sounds important.
Beyonce never
Um,
stuck around to learn.
Yonsei never studied.
And
He was like,
apparently,
Mother, I want to be an artist. And she was like,
We-
Oof.
and
That's a news for you,
apparently,
kid.
and
And
apparently
Loki
the
is here.
grandfather's sword was cursed, which is why the uncle's here
Yeah,
doing some
apparently it's
demon
cursed.
investigations. And
Apparently,
He
and this is all
wanted-
hearsay, by the way. Hearsay from a
Yeah,
uncle that
hearsay.
cannot be trusted.
Yep.
And
speaking of can't be trusted, he wanted, a writ to just do whatever the hell he wanted. And the
Yeah.
prince
He
was
wanted
like,
a
we
writ.
spent like hours, like a whole night, like up late writing this thing that was like, you can't do shit unless the prince says you can. And then we argued of whether that was tyrannical for a bit at the end too.
Yeah.
No.
Also,
it shouldn't
I
have
might get
been.
murdered in my sleep.
Which is why Yonsei was sus. Yonsei is sus of the queen and the uncle.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's because they're just suspicious.
Yeah. Yonsei's very suspicious of them. He's very like.
Okay. Any final
and then there was a
things you
conversation
wanna...
between
Fuck.
Daism and somebody.
There's a conversation between Daism and
The poison lady.
the bog boy, right?
Oh yeah, the bog boy. That also happens.
Yeah, you try to get your religion past your weird tentacle.
Yeah. You
I
try
feel
to
like
go
you
I
guys
couldn't
up and
finish the
around.
sentence.
You
Stop
try to
putting the
reach
two words
around,
weird
you know?
and tentacle together around me, okay? They're normal tentacles.
Your weird tentacle religion.
They're normal. They're
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry.
They're average tentacles.
Your normal average tentacle religion.
Thank you. I deserve some respect too, guys. I haven't done any wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But it's gonna take a year to prove that you haven't done anything wrong, so.
It's gonna
I've
take you a
invented a new
full
poison.
year.
Full
Yeah,
year.
you invented a new murderous paralytic poison that I don't think is actually...
It doesn't murder people.
It doesn't
It is
murder.
non-lethal.
Yeah.
It just gives you a really bad stomach cramp.
Named
For
Die
sure.
Some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only a little bit. Only
You
a little
wanna
bit.
die. Yeah.
Some.
It's like something you would take a little swig of, and then you go to work. You're like, "Oh, I'm so sick, I can't work today," and they send you home.
God.
Oh, honey,
Potion of gets-
I can't possibly go to your mother's house this feast day. I'm feeling quite ill.
Okay. I think that was by far our worst recap, so I'm not going to give anyone experience at all. That was real.
Give us all one XP.
Everyone can
Hey.
take home 1 experience point.
Hell yeah.
Yay!
Split between you
Good
all.
job,
Great
team.
negotiator.
It's actually
I suppose it's all right.
0.25
Work together.
experience points.
You only
I'm
get
writing that
5?
down. 0.25.
Yeah, it's 1 experience point split between you all.
Oh, god
But
damn
hey.
it.
Brand new record.
We each get 1. Listen. We tried hard.
We round
Viewers,
down.
are you
Well,
enjoying this? Are you
Okay.
enjoying that it took us 20 minutes to do this?
Because Snefru was sick, I'll give 0.01 of my XP to him.
Wow.
You know what? I will also I will donate the full 0.25 XP snap through.
Oh, a little
I've
bit more
never felt-
charitable.
You now have 0.51 XP.
Look at that.
I'm keeping the other 0.24. That's mine.
In my
All-
margins of my notes, plus 0.0.
It's not 0.5, it's just 0.5.
Ugh.
It's half of XP point.
Well, the day has come for the In Winter Festival.
Exactly. It is currently the morning of the 2nd of February. We are 1 day off from completing a long rest for the party, but for some reason, I have a sneaking suspicion that spells are going to be cast. So, you know, who knows? Maybe someone will be starting their own long rest after tonight. Or tomorrow, or whenever we deem that narratively important. Oh, excuse me. As a... This music is far too angelic. We need a little bit more holiday festivities, you know? Let me go find something real quick.
Anything with
Let me-
bongos in it?
Let me slip
Those
something
little
on.
A bongo festivity.
I
the end
do
of
have
winter.
a bongo soundtrack, but that's only because I had a caveman campaign we almost did. Or we did do. And it was quite cool. No, that's sad. I don't want sad music. I want happy music.
I don't know
Where's
how my
my
light today is specifically
festivities?
shining down upon me.
Floor
It
keeper
is quite
girl?
bothering me.
You have risen.
If I move my... It doesn't...
You
I really
have
don't like that.
risen.
I guess it's just there.
Play
I
floating
can't
cities
fix
for a
that.
minute.
Like, maybe if I... Oh, there we go. Nope, that's still terrible. Okay, we're just
There
gonna
we
keep
go.
it. That beam of light will just stay on me.
Yeah, it's fine. Guys! All sorts of people are coming over the stone bridge onto Liviston, the island slash capital city of Livistio. We are going crazy with all of the lowborn, the commoners, and even some local city nobles just piling on in, getting celebratory, coming from villages, coming from little farming communities that aren't too far away. Inns and taverns are currently packed. All sorts of lodgings and halfway houses are filled to capacity as everyone celebrates the end of winter, which notably has not ended. It's still quite cold out. There is still gentle snow, but the wind isn't true crazy. And as a point of just like holiday lore, this end of winter celebration apparently was co-opted from a much different and much more ancient holiday that the local humans here used to celebrate, specifically around a giant bear. But we don't care about that. We are a seed dragonborn, we are elves and half-elves, and we are a gnomish wizard. Who cares about local tradition when it's time to party hard? We have multiple phases of this party, however. First is the early morning phase, where just random people are coming in, the feast is getting prepared, stuff like that. We will then have a afternoon phase, where, you know, conversations are have, a little bit of dancing and entertainment is coming. Then we have the early evening slash dinner phase, and then finally is the fucking after party. Oh my god, guys. This late evening thing is invite only. People are going home. Business concluded. It's time to dance. It's time to throw up fireworks if those exist. And supposedly the head priest slash crazy druid guy is going to be doing a crazy midnight ritual under the light of a full moon, which is like double invite only. So my question to you guys is, for the first phase, the early morning when people are arriving, what is the party doing?
Eleva, for one, has last preparations to do. She's making sure that she has her spies, you know, distributed amongst the servants, distributed amongst, you know, people helping her out, making sure that they're in position to eavesdrop on the most conversations and report back on what they learn. She's putting the final little touches on her burgeoning spy network.
I see.
Well, I don't really think Dizem's up to much. He has made very little preparations for this party, other than selling vast amounts of poison to a shopkeeper, and then going home and going back to bed. So I guess today he's just getting up, doing some stretches, like, okay, time to get to work today. Gotta do some things,
Yeah.
and talk to some people, I guess. And eat as much food as I can.
You're planning to just full-blown gorge out, aren't you? For this entire day.
It's free food, okay?
It's free food for the entire day, true.
I think Snefru will co-opt Dizem as his quote-unquote muscle as he makes his way around the different phases of the morning.
Okay.
Trying to get a finger and point out who he does know, and then if he doesn't know someone, find out who they are, so he can keep track of the different moving parts of the party.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you any of my fingers. Those belong to my hands.
I need your eyes, not your fingers.
I'm not giving you my eyes either. Any of them.
Snapfru, make
All
a
four
perception check.
stay right here.
Just to keep track of
Perception
everything.
check.
Okay.
16.
Very cool. We'll revisit that here in a moment as we jump to Henrietta. Or should I say
I was about to say,
Yonsei?
someone is, like, has a chainsaw going outside of my...
What?
There's,
Oh.
I don't know, I was gonna go check and see, like, who is sawing something outside, because... I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's really,
We
really...
can't. Go.
Oh, great. Awesome. Alright.
If
No,
you
I'll
need
do
time
this
to
first
go
then.
check on the chainsaw, feel free.
It could
think
be a
it's next
serial
door.
killer. You're in the bay.
Yeah. Hey. I could be dying right now, everyone.
Oh no.
So give me, like, just give me, like, 1 second.
You got it.
You want us to keep this train going? Let's keep talking about things that we're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, before that, let's talk about the 16. Snafru, you were kind of just out in the middle of the courtyard, and I'm going to take us to our castle map. Now, there's going to be several hundred people in attendance here, and John, as a player, as well as a game master, does not think it is necessary for me to put down 100 unique tokens and then micromanage them all. Especially when they aren't kobolds that can be killed by a fireball. So I'm going to neglect on my duty there. And just say you guys are going to post yourselves somewhat outside. Oh my god, the door. It's keeping you guys in. You will see that there are several guards who aren't normally in the castle today. Now, the guards live and sort of work here in shifts. They actually have, like, houses inside the city or places of residence somewhere else, and they kind of come here and do weekly shifts and sort of rotate in and out, and are managed by the Royal Knights, which there are, I believe, 6 of. One of whom is always resting or off duty, so that 3 can remain and sort of hold the walls, make sure that the entrances are okay, and whatnot. However, the amount of guards has actually doubled for this event particularly. Normally there are around 6. Currently there are 12 for knights, as well as the 2 bodyguard knights, which... one chases a queen around who is currently locked up in a room, not noticeably going outside. The other one is always by the king, ready to throw down at a moment's notice. For the people who are coming early in the morning, specifically like the court and the family connected to the court who just kind of show up because they live nearby anyway, have brought some of their own servants to help as well for the celebration, which I think might throw a wrench in Henrietta's plan. Or not Henrietta, excuse me. Elva Hito's plan. Yes. As suddenly there are more servants on hand to provide assistance, such as moving crates, moving supplies, getting furniture shuffled and whatnot. But essentially, Elva servants are now bossing around these guys who aren't normally here.
I never
That's
cross.
who you will find in this morning procession. Are you
Got it.
okay, Hen? Is the chainsaw man busting down the window, or...?
No, I guess my landlord hired someone to come to cut down a tree in the backyard, but didn't tell us.
Oh!
So they're like
So you're not gonna
climbing
die?
on the roof, and I just heard someone scream, and I was like, hope no one fell. So
Oh, jeez.
today's been a really great day, everyone.
It's gonna get greater. You have a party.
Yeah, we have a party.
In regards to plans for
Yeah.
for Yonsei, I think it's just to integrate themselves as much as possible into the staff.
Okay.
I don't know who would be like, maybe the maids would be like, or people that like set up rooms for the guests. I think be part of that in the very beginning as like people are arriving, like, oh, let me show you your room, and then take it, so and so's in this room, and like,
Okay.
you know, and if like some itching like powder gets like stuffed on someone's blanket or something that he, you know, doesn't like, maybe they should have been nicer, you know.
This guy didn't tip me when I sent him to his room. What the hell? Let's throw in some bed bugs.
Yeah, it's fine.
Jesus Christ.
Did I see if Baron Bronson came early like usual, or?
He did not, actually. Baron Bryce Bronson, notable Lord of Agriculture, or Minister of Agriculture, is going to be coming in later in the night, with his +1, and the Lady Malrote. And of course, Smiling Sam will be there, too.
Got it.
Indeed. However, name check. Where are you? Ugh. John has so many names. You'll have to forgive him if he messes one up. Not Uncle Gunner. Uncle Gunner's been kind of missing lately. He's been busy in the city. Johann is up to his normal tricks, Yonsei, who you will pass in the hall several times, for he too is putting on multiple disguises and kind of trying them out. As he plans to get murdered later in this night. And, you know, then come back after his body gets disposed of to kind of game show his way into accusing someone of murder. You can't wait to see how that plays out. Nobody cares about the Royal Alchemist. We all understand that he exists, but just kind of lives in the basement with his lab. The Judge Superior, though, Mayrel Weimark, has come in very early this morning to speak with the king about something of somewhat pressing news regarding some sort of civil litigation thing that is occurring within the city. But other than that, not even her niece or grandniece, I can't remember which, has arrived yet. If that
So Judge Weimark is here, but Mycelia Weimark hasn't shown up yet.
Correct. Which makes sense, I suppose, for, like, why would they be here so early in the day? Or, yeah, just early in the morning, really. As the morning does press on into the, excuse me, noon hours, guests will begin to arrive. Those of highest esteem are kind of invited much sooner, as well as those who think they are of higher esteem, and then are like kind of stuck at the gate waiting to be let in. You know how it goes. It's kind of awkward at the gate as guards are essentially checking invitations and otherwise just sort of watching people hang out and loiter around the front gates because they haven't been given permission to enter the castle during preparations. What is everyone doing during the noon hours? Or the afternoon phase?
Eleva is getting herself absolutely pampered and ready. She has like some servants attending to her hair. She's dressing up, and she is overall preparing to make a grand entrance later on, and hopefully make a good stunning impression on some folks.
What is Eleva's goal? to make this impression out of curiosity? You know that your friend, Glynis, is, well, boss and friend, companion. I don't know how you think of Glynis, honestly. But, you know he's trying to get hitched, maybe. Or his dad's trying to get him hitched. What is your goal here? To woo everyone at the party, Aluva?
To assert myself as someone of beauty and as someone of import and intelligence.
Okay.
To signal to people that I have influence. That I'm important, look at me.
You're important, look at you. Okay. Dysum, Snefru, are you guys just working the beat like patrol cops? What's going on?
No, I go and ask my familiar very nicely, Tove, to be on the lookout for Baron Bronson.
Why Baron Bronson in particular?
It seems that he has a certain relationship, or he's trying to have a certain relationship with my prince, and I'm trying to watch that closely. Also, it was his territories that just had a monstrous murder.
Yeah. Very monstrous for sure.
But I'll ask Tove, Tove, if you could look out for Baron Bronson and please keep your distance from his weird elf man space servant.
Man space servant.
Is Tove? What is Tove again? Is it a mouse?
Is he a frog?
Big black owl.
He's
Owl?
an owl. Ooh.
I don't know why in my head when you said that name, it was like, ah, it's like a tiny mouse. Go scuttle around, look at things.
This big black owl in the middle of the day on a snowy day will create quite a visage as he sets up upon one of the towers on the curtain wall of this castle. People who are of higher import, so counts and the like, are essentially gathering within or coming through with their families to make introductions to the king, the court, whoever is here of the court, as well as to speak amongst themselves about the matters of state and of, their own territories, essentially. Having an early lunch together, which is a rare thing for multiple counts to do during such busy years. Dysum, do you scatter away from Snefru after he's done dragging you around, or are you still just sort of hanging out, eating?
I'll be his muscle.
Aww.
I will be eating while following him around. I'll like have my hand like this, just eating like tiny little finger foods, little cubes of cheese. Probably
I think it's
cured
almost
meats.
a full-time job to keep Dysum presentable with prestidigitation.
I'm like coated in crumbs every so often.
Fair. Very fair.
I still smell exactly like the ocean. Wearing a big seaweed cape.
Just a big sea. Honestly,
cloak.
it's probably not
It's a
the
little
worst
soggy.
kind of smell.
It's just salty. It's just I have a strong scent of salt.
Do you rub salt,
I like
or
the
is it
smell
just
of the
trapped in
ocean.
your scales?
Probably both. I bathe in salt water. It's the only way to really get myself clean.
Oh, God. What about you, Yonsei? Are you still disguised?
Of course, absolutely. Yonsei's gone from like being the person that like set up a room for people to serving snacks. So like taking the opportunity to like walk around, like listening to conversations while holding a platter of food is like a great way to, listen in to no one pays attention to the help,
True. No one pays attention to the help. Why don't you give me some sort of sleuth check here? Describe to me how that looks like and what skill that might be. What kind of information
I feel
are
like
you
for
looking
once in Yonsei's life, he's trying not to be the center of attention when they're doing anything,
Okay.
and trying to be as discreet as just like don't like because sometimes when you come around, like they don't expect you to like linger for very long. But Beyonce's still trying to like, let's see how much of this conversation can I hear before they even notice that I am here.
Yeah, give me a stealth check for sure. Let's see what sort of information you can gather from territories outside. Ooh, a 17. Very nice. While you are kind of filling drinks, passing hors d'oeuvres, as you called them earlier, as well as just simple bread sandwiches and cold juices to the lovely
like a horse
people.
duvet?
Yeah. You get to interact slash be in the periphery of counts, landholders here inside the castle. It's great, first of all, because you can kind of listen in on all the juicy drama that's occurring like in the countryside, specifically around like towns and the borders. And you hear that one count in particular seems to have a baron that is dragging his own name through the mud, essentially. This baron's name is apparently named Owen Jacobus, who is like a lesser noble of the kingdom, but he is more importantly in control of a fortress on the border itself. I will drag us to the map.
Fortress?
Yeah, a fort. So there are territories, or rather border fortresses that guard the entrances of the country. And Fort O'Stone is one of them, where a Baron Jacobus is currently whipping his men into shape beyond what is like standardized for the country. To the point where he's like digging trenches and ditches and moats all across this riverway, like non-stop. And the count, who is technically in charge of that baron, is kind of just like, yeah, I don't know. That guy's gone crazy, I think. You know, he's like 60 years old. Maybe he's just like losing his mind or something. But
Interesting.
Yeah.
Baron what?
Owen
Jacobus.
Jacobus.
Yeah.
Jacobus or Jacobus?
I'm just gonna copy his name for you guys. I've said it like 4 times, and I don't know if my
I
internet's lagging.
can't hear
Say
if
it
it's a B or a
better.
B.
I'm sorry. There you go.
Okay, yeah, Jacobus.
Jacobus.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I put his little name on the map next to the fort. This way, you know who owns it. It's Jacobus.
Good idea.
He's a little thing to put there to remember. I didn't spell it correctly. I spelled it how I thought it was spelled, which is incorrect.
Okay. But the afternoon, well, the noon becomes afternoon, and soon more and more locals and lords of renown are being invited on in. Towards... Rather, this is when the celebrations are actually beginning, where family members, as well as noble families, are coming up and gathering before the king and queen herself, who sit upon their thrones and hear out all sorts of greetings, as well as, let's call them, not superlatives. Essentially, very over-dramatic reports of, like, the territories, as well as their kind of gratitude for the king allowing them to be in power over their territories. Oh, baron families, count families, all sorts of local, or rather high-appointed offices are here to just sort of like, oh, thank you, king, for bringing us into another fruitful year, and how's the wife? How's the kids? And the king is just kind of like, yes, you're very welcome. Name. And you all can kind of see your boy, Gilmore Marchette here, trying his damnedest to remember everyone's names and sometimes getting, like, leaned into by the knight who helps remind him who he's even speaking to. Glynis is apparently still not dressed and ready to go. Maybe he had a very late night. But the queen, notably, has brought down her baby, the sister of the prince, guys. John is having trouble naming this creature, though. We've been jumping around from, like, Ghislaine to other sorts of G names, and I would like some input from my players here. You four get to help me name this child.
I have a great name.
Is it Dyson?
All I'm saying, it's a good name. Dysum, the princess.
I'm gonna do what is known as a hard pass on that one, if you don't mind.
Your loss.
It is my loss, for sure.
You know, the opportunity of a lifetime to give it a great name.
I'm not
It'll
sure
never
if that's
achieve
what
its
we're gonna go
greatness.
for, Red.
You,
Sorry.
you can always do Galen, which is Helen, but with a G on it, as in Helen of Troy.
You could
Okay.
do Giselle, Gisele, Giselle.
Ooh.
Giselle.
Let's do
ooh.
Glorian.
Are we like
Fine.
with a hard G name? Is that kind of what we're going for?
Yeah.
It seems to be the
Gysum?
style.
Guys.
Red.
My bet is for Glorian or Gloria.
Glorian or Gloria? Well, I could see Glorian. Okay. I'm gonna roll a dice here, and we're gonna name this child live on air. It is a
Live on air. Name and
2
babies
on a
right here,
D4.
everyone.
We have baby Gellin, who is currently being shown off by the queen. And my god, have you guys
that
never
option.
seen a, like, 1-year-old to 2-year-old be so absolutely blasted and drunk? Clearly some sort of, like, sedative has been either placed within this child so that she doesn't freak out to literally hundreds of people in front of her. Or, man, they just kept her up real late last night so that she is just zonked out during nap time, where she's kind of being puppeted around. It is somewhat
Or this baby just had a
horrible
party.
parenting, but... What was that, Red?
What are people saying about the baby? Can I listen in to see what, like, the, under their breaths, people?
Under their breaths, it's like, hell yeah, baby.
I want to roll for baby rumors.
You want to roll for baby
I'm
rumors?
sure everyone's like, oh, a baby, and they turn around and they're like, oh, God, that baby.
Roll me a 1d100 for baby rumors.
Baby rumors. Baby rumor roll.
How many of us
Baby
roll,
rumor
roll for that? What if we all want our own
Just
roll?
one. Take
Baby
it.
Baby rumor roll.
78
Got it.
88.
on a baby
Nice.
rumor roll from Harriet.
Baby rumor roll.
Yonsei, you are...
Who's got opinions on babies?
You will... I'm gonna roll a quick die here.
It's a counter baby rumor roll.
Yeah, baby.
Counter baby. What?
Well, what about my What about my network? What baby rumors are they hearing?
They're the ones giving out the rumors about the
They're
babies.
the ones doing the rumors. You hear a couple of servants of like, can you imagine like actually like drugging your kid to just sit on a chair all day? Like,
Well, what if the
the
baby
hell?
just did that by itself?
Dysum, these aren't arguments to be had. You're not fighting these people and like, yeah, it was the baby's fault.
I would.
The baby just likes to party, okay?
If I hear about what's going on while I'm getting dressed, I will instruct my lovely servants to start spreading compliments about the baby. Look how kind she is already in her young age. How
I haven't even
reserved and
gotten the baby
patient she
rumors
is.
yet. Evil,
You're
you're taking
the-
the limelight.
You're diluting the
True.
baby rumor pool.
You're diluting
The-
my baby rumor role.
The baby rumor that Yonsei will hear specifically of, I suppose it would be of the behavior that these people, the nobles, hope to see out of the future Duchess. Many of them have high hopes, but also it is clear that there is like no question that Glynis is going to be the next ruler, right?
Like,
And-
look at this wonderfully passive child.
This
Yes,
baby's way too zonked out of its brain to rule.
it is, you know, a 1-year-old child zonked out of its gourd. But the worry,
baby in
I
a
suppose, that comes from two very long-lived siblings is that one of them is going to usurp the other, especially in like a Game of Thrones way. And they are all the nobles seem fairly content with Glynis and his current behavior / heroic deed of going out and securing his sister's domain that isn't even built up yet and is essentially just a bunch of stumps on a hill. But still, this is what you hear from the baby rumors.
Well, Glynis will be happy to hear that. So.
Yeah, for sure. I hope Glynis will be.
Hey man, they think your little toddler sister isn't a threat to you. Isn't that great?
It's real great.
Also, she's pretty zonked out.
Also, maybe
Okay.
talk to your mom about not giving her alcohol.
Just a bit
I know
of
babies
whiskey
like
on
to
the
party.
plane. Jesus Christ. Party, come the early afternoon, guests of esteem will be arriving as well. Specifically from those of the interior of your country. Let me go ahead and pull up some of the names. So first, of course, will be Sephron Malrot, who will be squawked at by a jet black owl, because she is standing right next to Bryce Bronson when he arrives. Via carriage. Snefru, your owl, who is outside of the 100 feet, will alert you to Bryce Bronson's arrival by the scraw, scraw. Well, that's more like a raven. A hoot, hoot, as the owl goes. Very, very humanly. What is this music? No. That's fine. We'll let it chill.
It's a music.
Yeah, it's music, for sure. What did you wish to do as the owl goes hoot hoot?
If our prince was here, I would have alerted him. Since he's not, I'm going to gesture for Daism to follow and not stalk, but take up a observatory position where I can try to keep my eyes on the slightly threatening, smiling Sam.
You wanna like get on my
Okay.
shoulders so you can have a better view over people?
I would, but I'm trying to appear dignified as a mage of Brimlin, and that is undignified behavior.
True. That would be undignified. You will not stalk the party that comes with Bryce Bronson. Notably, Bryce Bronson's wife and son are not going to be coming here to this party. Apparently, the son, already a sickly guy, is just like traveling during still winter, even though it's the end of winter festival. He just can't make it, and he's always been kind of housebound. And the wife, so worried for their beautiful boy and son, has also chosen to stay behind and make sure that nothing bad will happen to him. leaving Bryce Bronson, charitable as ever, beaming, smiling, happy, and leading by the hand the Miss Malrote, who is dressed not in the clothing of Livistio, but also not in the audacious, let's say, attire that Eluva is planning to throw down with, showing her influence and prestige. The Smiling Stam notably has brought extra kerchiefs that he is currently just like handing Bryce Bronson nonstop as he is just kind of sweating his way through like a crowd of 100 fucking people. You know, this overweight guy who's just like, oh, here, take this rag, and he does a little spell over it to like drain it and hands him a fresh kerchief. Before you know, he turns on his heel suddenly to you, Snefru, as you and Dizem are like watching him, and he just like makes eye contact with you real quick.
Sam or Bryce?
Sam. Smiling Sam.
Sam.
What's up, Sam? Woo! Love that guy.
Very slightly nods the hat towards Sam.
So we have like subtle and then, yeah, that's my boy!
Ah, I love that guy.
Smiling Sam
Dizem?
gives a performative bow to Dizem. But if you're not going to engage with him in conversation, there's no reason for him to cross the room with big, large, gangrenous steps. And engage with you, I suppose. Okay. The next person who I think Eluva is going to be warned of by a servant is the representative of the Malo family, Countess Tafina Redblade, or the Redblade, Malo. Malo has decided not to attend for what she will consider obvious reasons, but she has sent a trusted companion, quote-unquote, from her retinue from Belia, who shows up. They are... John looks at their description to summarize it better. They will come in towards the late afternoon, because, one, they are a commoner, so this is very much a slap in the face to all the nobles of the entire country, as she, a countess, a person of equal or high rank in the country, has sent a low-born peasant from a different country to represent them. It is a massive gasp, as this woman, Blade Guardian Marcoul, comes over to the king and does a patronizing bow of sorts. And notably, they are not wearing any sort of, like, dresses or anything like that to signify their intent to, like, have a good time or, like, coming here dressed down as civilians. They're wearing the, like, tabard of Malrote under Gambison armor, which I suppose doubles as, like, an extra layer of clothing, and were armed before handing their sword to the royal knight, who will inspect it to make sure that it doesn't have, like, crazy poison needles or whatever. But it is, like, a ceremonial longsword they have brought. Yeah. For Yonsei, who is kind of in the pack with the already listening to baby rumors, you will hear almost uniformity with all of the spectators who are, like, hanging out in the throne room. Like, just the audaciousness of this person arriving here on behalf of a person who is already ostracized from the court, right? I know Eluva wanted to be alerted if the Malo representative arrived, and so a maid will knock upon your door as you're getting ready.
You have news?
Yes.
Come in.
They creak open the door and just whisper, "My lady, the Balrog representative has arrived."
And that's splendid news. I'm very proud of you.
Intimidated, they close the door and run away.
You gotta give them some compliments. All right. And I think this is the time to hopefully make a grand entrance.
Right after the princess? Damn.
It's been a respectful, like, like hour or so since the baby's been brought out, right? It's been like a respectful amount of time.
Yeah, a
since the baby's
respectful
been brought out.
hour, for sure.
A respectful hour after the baby has arrived, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
In that case, she is absolutely introducing herself upon the scene.
Okay. Are you getting help from any of your companions doing this, or is this pure... Oh, Snafru's helping.
If I see her, I guess, get to the top of the stairs and start to make her entrance, I will prestidigitate musical notes to accompany her announcement. So he just like gets his wand out and whispers into it, and
Whoosh. A little bit of magic goes as you cast your spell. Jesus Christ. Elva. The doors are opened by a guard who is like, oh my god, what the fuck am I looking at? As you, a foreign dignitary / companion of the prince, arrive on scene in front of hundreds of, over 100 guests. Many of them are noble families wearing 10 gold outfits. They are wearing simple, practical, and aristocratic. Oh, that's a hard word. Aristocratic.
Aristocratic.
Thank you. I got there on my own. I just stumbled
You got
my way through. Thank you. You want to remind us how much gold you've spent on this dress alone?
I believe it was 150 gold coins.
I think
Which
that's
was
the case.
Almost
15
almost
times.
more than anyone else had on them.
You arrive. Jewelry, dress. Please describe this attire that you are just absolutely putting to shame literally the entire court of Livistio right now.
Her dress, long and flowing, is a couple shades darker than her own skin. But in the right light, it almost seems to gleam with a pearlescent silver. A closer inspection sees various, sashes of a brighter silver and gemstones and pearls inlaid into the dress in swirling patterns which swish and move along with her. She has her hair done up in a long braid, again encrusted with a couple of jewels and pearls stuck in there and to help pin it in place. And yeah.
Out of curiosity, is this your own style, or is this customary for the Orlando Tochi / Lingtu Baypan culture?
This is her own style. However, it is also faintly reminiscent of the traditional garbs of the Order of the Silent Moon, the religious organization, which of course she subscribes quite fervently to.
I understand. Many people are stunned by your arrival, just purely by the wealth and the cultural difference, let's say, that is the more humble and I'm gonna keep using the word practical here instead of impoverished country that is Livistio. again, for those at home, Livistio is a very small country with only about a century worth of history. The Orando Tochi / Ling, I've already forgotten the name, Bay Pan country / culture is ancient. So when Elva shows up, literally it is a massive culture shock immediately. You bypass this Blade Guardian to, of course, greet the liege, sovereign, and leader of this nation first before mingling with the crowd. Is there anything you wish to say to the king as a technical dignitary of your country / refugee of your country?
He does a deep, oh god, what's the word where you like
Curtsy?
curtsy, thank you.
Yeah.
She does a very deep curtsy. It is always glad to see the kingdom of Livistio flourishing under your eye.
Is this sarcastic? Out of curiosity.
It is not sarcastic.
All
It,
right.
it is like
Flirting with
it is
the
a very
king.
formal thing. It's sort of like a platitude almost,
Mhm.
like sort of like just generic greeting. It's not meant to be like an empty platitude, but it is just sort of a formality.
Okay.
Feels like an empty platitude with your dress.
The king, Gilmori Marchette, will accept your platitude and your thanks, as well as the compliment to his own country, and return your greeting of Miss Elva Hito. Thank you for being a stalwart companion of my son. Glynis, he's just the prince not ready yet still, or just completely passed out, or we'll find out what Glynis has been up to in a little flashback later. But he turns his full attention to you and say, I am glad to see that you have taken well to the court you find yourself in.
A very welcoming place, all things considered. And to see how far you have come in only the short history of this kingdom, I have no doubt in my mind that you will go much further than you will see in your lifetime. Of that, I can personally assure you.
You make this essentially an oath to the king of this country, who will nod his head in normal regality, and give you the motion to dismiss yourself. The queen, next to her, strange as she is, the true elf of a different country, will use her little baby's arm to wave you goodbye.
I think Eleva, just despite herself, her smile cracks. Her smile like shows in her face a little bit at that sight. Like, come on, that's just cute. You can't not smile at that.
Hey, Snefru.
Yes?
Were we supposed to, like, introduce ourselves when we entered? Because I'm seeing a lot of people introduce themselves, and we just never did. I've been eating, like, cheese cubes this whole time.
I'm not of nobility. So
You're the future court wizard.
I am the prince's assigned magical
future court wizard.
Hopefully future court wizard. Dizem, are you a noble where you're from?
You don't know where I'm from.
I don't. That's why I'm asking.
No.
Well, I think only nobles are allowed to
found me on the
introduce themselves.
beach.
I took a drink when you said that, and that was the funniest fucking thing. That's why I'm asking.
It's like
I think our role here is to watch and observe. Maybe make sure no one tries to beat up Miss Hito over her ostentatious attire. But only a noble can approach the king, I believe. In this setting.
Okay, I'm gonna go like, you know that like person who was wearing armor? I'm gonna go talk to them. They seem pretty interesting.
I would like to follow you and listen in on that conversation.
You know me. I am great at talking to people.
We shall see.
This can only go well. This can only go well.
Master negotiator.
You head
will
on
follow
over to
Dyson.
the Malo representative, who is immediately making a kind of an ass of herself. You say you have been eating cheese cubes all day. I would say like 4,000 calories by now for sure. Of just you alone. When
Cheese.
she heads over to like a hors d'oeuvre stand and like a servant is like, here already. Yonsei's there already. And she grabs like 3 of them and like gets her own little plate and just like combines them into a weird sandwich. Completely just
That's so
almost
smart.
barbaric.
Do you want a bottle of wine?
Do you have a bottle of wine?
Do you have?
Yeah. Do you want just the whole bottle?
I
can
would
give
love
that to
the
you.
whole bottle, yes. And she goes
Beyonce's
over
so happy to be part of the chaos.
and
A whole
sits
bottle of
down
wine.
before any other like corporate. She just goes to like a side special seat and just like takes and just leans over and just like starts eating her sandwich, looking incredibly incredulous here.
Stepher, you could just do that? Like no one would stop you?
And I'll like pull Dyson down to where I can whisper instead of yell in the middle of this party. It's highly frowned upon. It's very poor manners. So please don't.
Okay.
You could you could definitely try to engage the conversation.
I'm gonna like open my pocket and just like grab another handful of cheese cubes.
Oh god.
I have a lot of cheese cubes on me.
Can I look in his pocket just to see how many cheese?
Do you want to take a little gander in my
I want
pockets?
to. I would like to gander in your pocket. Yes.
There's a full
I'm not the
raw
height.
fish
Is there a little bit
there.
of sea salt in that pocket? Are you seasoning
Oh,
these cheeses?
They're coated in salt. I need like a pound of salt a day to survive. This is a crucial part of my diet.
Dyson salt lick. Just
Like I'm gonna open up my pockets and there's just like each one.
does this
like, a pound
country
of
have
cheese
enough
cubes in it.
salt to sustain you?
No, they
I
don't.
have my
Absolutely
ways.
fascinating.
It's
He
a
has
great
his
question.
ways. Instead of create water, he has create salt water.
It's an integral part of my diet.
Snefru and Dizem, while Elva is doing her speech, so mid-sentence of her, the Blade Guardian sits down, you two approach, you see Yonsei just in disguise right next to this person, essentially feeding a fire here. What do you do?
No, I don't.
do?
I don't
You
fear.
don't.
That's a
You
servant.
ignore. You're like, that's his servant.
That's
I don't
Sure.
like those winks. You know what? They're doing their thing. I am absolutely enamored by this person. I mean, coming in, bottle of wine, made a sandwich.
Made a sandwich
Yeah,
out of
cool.
real fancy food.
Yeah. I didn't want to touch it. It seems a little too fancy. I just have cheese cubes.
Yeah, you come up enamored, and this person looks to you and stares at you for a long moment. Yes?
I elbow Dyson to say something.
Oh, what's up? What's up, Snefru? What you need?
Just staring.
Blade Guardian McCool, it's a pleasure to meet you. My acquaintance Dyson was insistent upon meeting you.
Why?
Can-
No,
You're
you're
a-
talking with the king. You're having an introduction, Elva.
Can I cast message while I'm talking to the king?
You cannot. No, that is a spell. You
Nope.
would get tackled in front of the king. How dare you cast magic in front of the king? It could be power were death.
It's message. It's so subtle.
It's not subtle. It has a verbal and semantic component.
I had to accept. I had to accept message. I am on. Do not disturb.
He's on ignore. Yes, Dysam. Why did you want to meet Madam McCool?
So, Madam McCool.
Please call me by
This
my
is
title.
Madam
Blade Guardian.
Blade Guardian. I'm not from here. You guys,
see that
in your
and smell that.
fancy titles, have all these rules. Don't talk to the king. Don't take all the cheese cubes, Dyson. You're gonna get sick.
Yes.
It's a lot. It's very complicated. You guys have a very complicated system here. Where I come from, we don't even have names. It's very straightforward.
Is this to a point, or?
Yes. Why are you here today?
To represent my lady.
Could the lady not make it?
She would not have sent me otherwise.
Can I ask why she couldn't make it?
No, you can't.
We do
Fair.
hope that she is well, though, Miss Malo.
That is good
I'm
to
assuming she's
hear.
well.
Who am I speaking to?
Oh, I'm Stefru. I am
Future court wizard.
I am a Brimish wizard in employ under the Crown Prince Glynis Marchette.
Ah, you are his
And he has-
lackey?
I am his mage.
Ah, you cast spells for him.
In a way, that is true. He has expressed his interest in your countess.
Oh yeah? What
Not-
kind
not
of
in a-
interest?
In a respectful interest.
Beyonce behind her is going like,
Stefru turns a beet red if he sees Yonsei do that. No. Respectfully, he heard the Countess Malo's desire to prepare Livistios to prepare Livistios for
War.
the
Battles.
worst, because you always prepare for the worst.
Well, it's a
Hope
good
for the
thing
best.
someone in this castle cares about such things.
I believe the prince has a desire to meet the countess sometime at her leisure, of course.
Well, I am not in the business of handing out invitations. I don't have that privilege, we'll call it.
Of
But
course.
I'm sure if you wish to make an unannounced visit, you will be warmly welcomed.
Got it. I'm gonna write that down. My old think tank.
I was about to say, you can write, Dyson?
Technically, I could write things in
Good.
common.
It's just the
certainly-
scratchiest, nonsensical version.
It's on a charcoal and a stone tablet. I wash it every day. No notes are kept on it.
Could I ask you a question, Blade Guardian?
You already have asked me many.
Well, then surely one more will not insult.
more hors d'oeuvres, Blade Guardian.
Thank you, random servant. She says.
You're welcome.
Just shovels like 4 in her mouth and just starts chewing loudly.
So cool.
Everyone else is like, who is spectating this conversation is just like not in shock, but like disgusting fascination of literally watching a
Now
train
is
wreck
Yonsei's
occur.
chance to leave and go listen into what other people are saying while this is happening.
Okay, perfect.
There's already a big enough distraction now being put down.
Blade Guardian, how does one come across that name, that title? How does one earn it?
He's asking for a friend.
I am.
What do you know of Blia, Brimlandian? Brimian? What's your country's name?
Oh, I'm
for-
Brimish.
Brim.
Brimland, I'm Brimish.
You're Brimish. Well, we of Blia have our many traditional ranks, and I suppose you would call them offices here. We would call them obligations, more. As Blade Guardian, I earned my title in service of combat with my lady, Malo. She has given me this duty to perform. I guard her blades.
Wait. You guard her blades?
Yes. It is a prestigious thing, for in Blia, there is a, let's call it history, of nobles utilizing the wrong kind of weapons that break easily or have been sabotaged or have had their handles laced with poison. By having someone else guard your blades, it is a sign of trust between them and of loyalty.
Got it, yeah, no, that makes sense.
I would hope so.
There's a lot of weird customs.
Yes.
Weird continent.
And she looks at the seaweed-wearing dragonborn with tentacle eyes. I am sure we have the weird customs.
You do. I had to drink salt water daily. That's just the weirdest it gets.
That explains
He doesn't
much,
get
I feel.
less weird, Blade Guardian. He doesn't get less weird.
Well, let us hope he... Well, I don't learn that then. Is that all, Mr. Mage?
Yes. I just wanted to make your acquaintance and
If we were to give you a written message, would you be able to hand it off to your lady?
Now that is asking a lot from someone who guards blades and not letters. Is there not a courier service here in town you can entrust that task with?
not nearly as trustworthy as someone who guards blades.
Then yes, you can entrust me a written message.
I will have it delivered to you before you leave.
Okay. And she gets up and prepares to... No. She heads off into a different area of the castle, not liking literally 50 people staring at her and judging her for her actions.
Well,
Elva.
Snapfro,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think we did great.
I'm glad you think so.
Once again, we have solved another problem for our prince.
Or made one. Time will tell.
Nope. See, I don't make mistakes. I've never caused a problem.
If I could just get into your head. Fascinating.
It's off limits. No one gets into this thing. There's a lot of salt water in there as well. It's a lot of salt.
I think eventually Snefru's gonna tune out Dizem and go back to listening.
Yeah. You go back to listening. Elva and Yonsei kind of brush past each other as Elva heads off to, well, just away from the king a little bit. And Yonsei is busy pretending to be a servant and needs more hors d'oeuvres to give out to the people.
I'm also
Yonsei,
listening to rumors.
yes, you will hear many comments of, like, dissatisfaction, we'll call them, for the behavior of the Blade Guardian, as well as a few directed towards Elva, who has just outshined literally everyone by just sort of styling, quite literally, on the entire court.
Hecka rude.
Yeah, it is hecka rude. Like, look at this foreigner who's like a refugee coming into our court and like not having any humbleness. What's going on? This is some weird power play this person's doing.
What is going on?
No one knows what's going on. The final person of note who is kind of like put forward last in a way, despite their kind of political prominence, is Myceli Weimark, who shows up towards the early evening, in hand with a brother or cousin of hers, who will escort her in, kind of acting as like an armed security guy, which makes sense. The Weimark family is a martial / military group here, with long ties to the crown, we'll call it, the noble royal family. And she comes to make her introductions to the king, but seems to not be doing well at her job. She kind of is like very nervous about the situation that she has now found herself in. Elva, you had plans, I know. You said you wished to cast the message spell mid conversation with the king. What were those?
The message is a subtle spell.
I
Say
don't
again?
believe you. What were your plans? Did you have a place to be after making such a dramatic entrance?
It was talking with the Blade Guardian, but that ship has sailed, so now
Solve
it's
that
carousing.
We
Now
got you, Elva.
carouse. Okay.
Bryce Bronson's here, right?
Bryce Bronson
Yeah, he was,
is
like, the
here,
first
yes.
guy. Yeah. And he also brought... Did he bring the... I don't remember his name.
He brought your boy.
Yeah,
Well, he brought Smiling
Sam.
Sam. We go talk
He
to
also
that guy.
brought the Lady
And he-
We always
brought-
talk
Malraux.
to that guy.
Lady
Yep.
Malraux.
The lady's here.
Yeah,
You
she
talked to
makes
her
her
again. That
introduction,
was great last time.
speaks fluent Sylvan. King doesn't understand a single word she's saying, but she seems to be enjoying that. And will quickly make her introduction seem super, super socialite, and just start speaking with people one after the other who do not understand her at all.
Does
Why?
Stefan know comprehend languages?
Nefru does.
You could take Snefru and have a very great conversation. I don't know if
Elva
you could like
herself
talk
knows-
back.
Elva
I don't-
knows comprehend languages.
I think Elva already used a few spell slots before this, though. I don't know. Does Elva have more spell slots to use on comprehend language?
She does. I was thinking about ritual casting it before I made my appearance, but I was planning on talking to the Blade Guardian and not Malraux, so I didn't.
Well, we solved one of the problems, so you could start ritual casting it. It's just a quick 10 minutes.
You want to find a closet and start, like, doing the Macarena? Just- Hey, I just need 11 minutes in privacy real quick to...
11 minutes in hell.
Yeah, do your room immediately after making introductions.
Do you need a distraction?
She cannot disappear immediately after making her appearance. That will undo all of the effects of her
Yay,
appearance.
Macarena. Sorry.
God.
You make your introductions, and then Eleva is kind of swarmed by people. A lot of youngish noblemen and women are like, who is this person? Where did they come from? Just general curiosity, because you are in their eyes like an exotic creature now. Like, they had heard, like, oh, the prince has, like, several outsiders and foreigners inside his inner circle. And then they, like, listen in on your conversation, and, like, the pieces match, and, like, holy shit, this person actually works with the prince. We need to talk to this person, because the prince is missing still. He hasn't made his dynamic entrance yet.
You need a distraction. Oh.
No,
Beyonce's
Eleva-
ready.
Beyonce's making significant eye contact with you across the way.
This servant Eleva is just staring at you intently.
She can't leave right after making her introduction. She can't fuck off. She answers her questions. She tries to identify, the people who are most susceptible to, getting them to talk a bit much more than they should, and give away some rumors and secrets, and
Right
tries to ask
lounge.
questions in turn.
Oh,
Greg is in the lounge.
guys, our prince
This
is
might be the
here.
perfect distraction.
The
Man of the
perfect
hour.
distraction. We will take our first break here, and we will get our prince. We'll be right back, everyone. Hello, everyone. We are back with the Ordeals of Livistio, featuring none other than Prince Glynis Marchette. Glynis, what are you wearing tonight?
I don't know. It's just a collared shirt. I think I got it at Nordstrom's.
Oh, okay.
Linus is wearing a beautiful dress.
Oh, what is my character wearing? I don't know. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Just walked in, collared shirt.
It's a collared shirt from
what is my
Nordstrom.
character wearing to the ball? I imagine that my character is wearing black slacks, with the like white ruffled shirt that would go with a tuxedo, but no tuxedo jacket, and then like maybe a bow tie.
Ooh, a fancy bow tie too.
He did not tie it himself.
Did Argyle do it? Your favored manservant?
I think so. Yes.
Hell yeah. Argyle whispers out to the local royal guard as you prepare your descent. For the king is in the middle/end of introductions to all of his most prestigious guests, with the less prestigious guests coming in soon after, so that they can come into a place of splendor and dance. There's faint music going out in the background as, like, the band in a different room entirely is, like, trying to practice their stuff right before the big show where they're brought into this courtroom. And Argyle whispers down, and the king nods his head in understanding and stands up with his wife and your newborn sister / 1-year-old sister. I guess that's not really new. And speaks out to the entire room of, "It is my distinct pleasure to introduce you all to my son, Glynis Marchette." Glynis descends, starts politely yeah, woo! Some people go. Eluva, the younglings, or young noblemen and women who want to speak with you because you are connected to this man, this prince who's just descended, stop in their tracks to gaze upon their future liege. And your father calls out, he has defeated the vile and repugnant thieves, bandits, and monsters upon his little sisters, and he gestures to the child who has been given the whiskey on an airplane trick to remain calm and sort of dazed.
Nice.
The future Duchess, Gelen Marchette, and her territories. And immediately, a round of applause that deafens the room continues on.
Beyonce does a wolf whistle, just like a...
Just to add a little bit more chaos. Like, what? Glynis, I know you probably weren't prepared to give a speech, but you are. What's the
rumor mill?
We'll get to the rumor mill in a minute. Glynis.
All right.
I am put on the spot to give a speech. Okay.
Yep.
You got this.
First of all, do your taxes now.
First of all, the IRS is coming in 2 weeks to knock on everyone's door, and I expect forms in triplicate. No. I have been working with the Baron on this. No.
I'm making it like we need to kill it.
Viva la revolution!
You gotta egg this guy.
Completely joking. Pay your taxes, people.
I guess Glynis pauses for a moment to take in the sight, and as the applause dies down, he says, "Friends, family, and esteemed guests of the crown, I welcome you to our soiree here in honor of my wonderful sister Gellin. I'm sure she will make a wonderful addition to the family and a strong duchess in the future. The prosperity of our kingdom will surely continue in the hands of our family and at the efforts of you, the people. All of you here play your own parts, and I am excited to get to know all of you and the parts that you play as I work towards becoming worthy of the throne that will one day be mine. Um, a toast to all of you, and I like grab a glass from a nearby servant, not realizing it's Yancey at the moment, and like raise a cheers to the gathered assembly.
There are many mirrored cheers as like servants rush over to make sure everyone like has a drink. Snefru and Dizem, two are just shoved in your hands immediately, realizing one of you has been stealing all of the cheese, doesn't have time to address this, and moves on.
It's not stealing. It's free.
Sure.
Let's just agree to disagree.
A great huzzah is had as Glynis takes a sip of his drink. And we are going to fast forward a little bit in our party phase here to the more relaxing slash dinner, we'll call it, where some people have been cloistered in a room around a king, making not introductions, but having like actual social visits now with the king and the immediate family. The queen in this time will, like the erudite herself, vanish with her daughter, under the excuse of it's time to put the child to bed, even though it is like 5 p.m. In the winter. For Greg, who was not here in our opening bit, we have like 4 to 5 phases. One of them is optional of this party. Or okay. Super optional, we'll call it, where a high druid is going to perform a ritual at midnight of significant religious, we'll call it practice, let's say. But for the most part, this is the time of the party where everyone kind of has the opportunity to roam around, and temporary guests, we'll call them, are allowed into the castle as well. Not necessarily to speak with the king, but to pay respects, and they're of such station where they can't just be, like, barricaded out and told to fuck off, right? Specifically, 2 people of note, or 1 person first, we'll say, is your uncle, Glynis. Numulia of Zwan makes his appearance now, despite being somewhere in the city prior. He shows up essentially from the shadows of the early evening / winter evening, and will, like the mysterious fighter man that he is, come take your hand and sort of shake it of just introduction, as though you're meeting for the first time. Saying, hello, Glynis.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Uncle.
It is a pleasure to meet you as well. And he does a little bit of showboating to just show off his magenta colors of Zwan. Specifically, his modeled coat on the interior had always had this magenta coloration, which has now been flipped out and gives him a very vibrant and eye-catching attire, despite wearing essentially shitty traveler's clothes and armor underneath it.
He's got reversibles. He was so cool in 2008.
He was so cool, and he has Heelys too, man. You better watch out. He also greets Snefru and Dizem, who are undoubtedly orbiting you in some distance away. As well as Elva, but not Yonsei, who he either does not recognize, is pretending to be a servant, or is so ashamed that you are pretending to be a servant, he refuses to make eye contact with you. Yonsei, anything to... Oh, you're muted, we can't hear you.
Someone's not getting any wine tonight.
After that, he will kind of quickly depart before any count or baron can like make their introduction to this guy, and will skulk away to find his sister, who has vanished once again. The final two people of great interest to you, I would say, Glynis, is Vidar and Alyssa Velyeg, who, upon their announcement being heralded in by Smiling Sam, much the same as how you were when you first made your appearance to the court, Smiling Sam just so happened to be there and shouts out to the entire crowd, I present to you Vidar and Alyssa Velyeg, son and daughter of King Velyeg, Mayon, the Boule Slayer of Niord. And this is scandalous to those who are like nearby and hear this out. Many people did not know that emissaries from your northern and historical enemy, Niord, were arriving, let alone to a prince and a princess. What does the party do here?
This seems like Elva's cup of tea.
Dizem just like points his nose at Elva, who's like being a socialite.
I could, if needed.
What are they wearing?
So,
Yeah.
so you could talk to the person that I was planning to talk to and sick me on this person instead.
I can go talk to these people as well if you need.
Snefru breaks away from Dizem real quick to like go to the entrance to see what these two are wearing. You will see that one is a half-orc who is wearing a very nice tunic, as well as a tabard over essentially gambeson, much like how Marcool was. This is essentially padded armor, where it's like, I'm not really a threat, but I must show off my martial status immediately. He is unarmed as a point of order. He is a foreigner. They're not going to give him access to, like, a weapon while he is literally within presence of their king and heir to the throne. But he looks to be so strong that he could probably just use his hands to beat someone to death. He is half-orcish in nature and has a very simple shaven head and a big old beard. The daughter is a human, however, like a full-blooded human, has no different species within her at all, and looks kind of diminutive in comparison to her bigger, what you assume to be half-brother. She is wearing a simple garb, probably like a 5 gold dress, and is quite possibly the most practical and humble of all of the guests so far. However, one thing of note is her weird amulet that she has that is clearly part of like a boule shell, that she kind of keeps in hand or touching around her neck and down to her chest. Almost like
it's a hell of an
presenting it
amulet.
It is. Yeah, it's quite chunky too. Full-blown shell.
Interesting.
I love a chunky amulet, you know.
Yeah.
You think it could like
I like
double
to
as
feel
a
my-
breastplate? Like, unironically, if this was, like, under somebody's shirt, it could probably, like, deflect a blow quite easily.
I don't have anything to test its magicalness.
You just throw a knife. Just-
Would you say that was like a 13 or a 14 throw from me there, you know?
Dysum, you whisper in Elva's ear, like, hey, you should talk to this person. I don't think you're sorry for stealing the Blade Guardian who is wandering around.
In my defense, as a person who's done no wrong, you can't claim a Blade Guardian.
True,
There was no one saying, like, I want to talk to the Blade Guardian. No one said that. So I thought I could talk to the Blade Guardian.
You were fine, Dysum. This princess, can you remind me of her name?
Alyssa.
Yes.
Like Valiant or something.
Elisa. And Vidar is Vidar. Here we go. I'll just post it in chat for you for your notes. I know you're taking notes.
This time.
Yeah.
I had to go let my boyfriend inside the house, so I did not hear what the rumors were for when Gilly arrived. Can Beyonce do another rumor check? Rumor check.
Everyone is super happy with Gillis's speech. Everyone.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beyonce, if they say something good about Gilly, Beyonce just like shoves like another hors d'oeuvre like in their hand, just like, oh, good job, good boy, there you go.
You soon run out.
Operant condition.
Good job, boy. Have a glass of wine.
I will be known as the Pavlovian ruler.
Exactly. Very good.
Beyonce, as a point of note / interest, during when you did your wolf whistle, a little bit after, during the true clapping and applause, somebody mimicked it. I'll give you a perception check to see who it was that did this, if you want.
Johan.
It was Johan.
It was Johan. 6.
Unfortunately, someone has a secret admirer, Beyonce.
Damn. All right. You know what? Next, side mission is to find out who that person is.
Guys, light music begins to play. People call out these interested parties. However, the initiative is in your court here. If you wish to play hard to get and have people approach you, that's fine. If you wish to approach people, please tell me now.
Is that like an appropriate thing to do? I don't really know what the etiquette of a prince at the party is. Do I sit in a big table with my dad and have people come up to us like we're fucking King Arthur or some shit? Or am I walking around?
You can do either one. There is a seat for you at the table, but you are not expected to be there that entire time.
Okay.
This is your social debut, Glynis. You're expected to be talking with people a lot.
Next question. A foreign dignitary has just arrived in the castle. Is it appropriate for me to be like, yo, sup? I want to have my chit chat, or do they need to go present themselves to the king and the queen and have their formal introductions to them and whatnot?
They have shown up late / in a phase where that is not expected of them to do, and their status as government agents is not recognized right now. Apparently they did not send for warning specifically in a public showing. Currently they are here under the auspices of traveling nobility who heard there was a soiree and can get in due to their own royal status.
Okay, very good. Then during this phase, I guess I would like to make introductions with Vidar and Alyssa. If they are split, I would like to I'd like to speak to Alyssa first. If I can't grab them at the same time.
They will not be split up for the initial entrance, I should say. They are very much a pairing right now. Likely for security reasons, as Big Bro doesn't want his little sister to just wander off in a technical enemy's fort or homeland. And also, they're strangers, right? They don't know who here is actually an enemy or whatnot. So when you show up, do you bring any one of your companions with you?
I think that I would have initially thought of bringing Eleva along, but it seems that she is otherwise engaged with a strange man from another place, and I think good for her, and I let her be. I assume the swordsman that came is a man, is it not? I got the
no,
queerest look. Okay, she's engaged with a woman from a foreign land, and I think good for her, and I leave her be. So I think I just approach myself.
Also,
perhaps I'll bring Sneferu along, just because he is also a diplomat of some sorts. Like, his expertise may be magic, but he is from Brimland, and they are meant to be advisors and, foreign dignitaries on some level. So his expertise may be warranted here as well.
Okay. As a point of order, what is Eleva doing?
The Red Blade herself did not show up in attendance, and the second best option was whisked away right under her nose, and with the night not going as she had planned, Eleva is going to be retiring from the stage and heading off to a quiet balcony somewhere in the castle and having some of her servants delivering like a list of, things that have been uncovered, rumors, and just taking a break from the limelight, so to speak.
Okay. You do catch a lot of people's eyes with your crazy gown and your displayed wealth, let's call it. So that is likely a wise maneuver, and we will revisit Eleva here in just a moment. Yonsei, where are you in the kerfuffle? Are you still pretending to be a servant, or are you getting tired of doing rumor mill duty?
Sorry, it's like right outside my window right now.
I'm so sorry.
I think Yonsei, if there's no other beef that Yonsei can pick out of people, he's specifically, now that things have kind of settled into no one else is gonna do a sudden spontaneous arrival and upset the room, listening in to either Baron Bronson Bryson,
yeah,
Baron
okay.
Bro, or
very deep.
Got there eventually.
The Lord of the River is here, whatever his nickname is.
Killigan Pharos.
Yeah,
he's here somewhere.
that was him, and I guess maybe trying to listen into what he might be doing, and then also the woman that you described that had the giant amulet. Is she talking to the amulet? That's a very specific question.
You glance over to see Glynis approaching this young woman and her half-orc brother.
Okay, alright. If Glynis has got it, then Yonsei's gonna go check on the other two.
Perfect. You check in on Killigan Pharos, and I believe you called him Baron Bryce Bronson Bro. Or something along
Baron
those...
Bro.
Baron Bro. And we'll find
Baron
him
Bro.
whispering in the king's ear. Yeah. At the dinner / just the dinner table. You will find that his +1, the Lady Sephron Malrote, is nowhere to be seen with him.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Are either of their cups low on a liquid at all?
No, they are nursing them. Quite. Their goals are to not get drunk at this party. Maybe
Damn.
everyone else will, but not them.
Are they in need of a gravy for their food?
It sounds like you're gonna find a way to approach them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yahtzee looking around and it's like drinks, gravy, cheese.
Cheese cools.
There is surprisingly
always
little
works.
cheese at this party because Dizem has been taking it all.
No cheese. Would a vegetable be offensive to the king?
Of course,
doesn't
seem
like a
you
vegetable kind of
approach the
guy.
king, Yonsei.
I approach with vegetables.
Well, vegetables, your highness.
Well, vegetables.
Okay. Yonsei goes to spy on literally the king and his best man, his right-hand man. And we are going
Should
to...
be best bros.
Yes, we're going to focus on Glynis, as well as Snefru, approaching the two unofficial dignitaries of the court. The court of Niord, I should say. They are found kind of getting, I suppose, the most curious people who don't seem to understand social hierarchies that well, and just sort of approach royalty of like, oh, what are you guys doing here? And being incredibly rude by all states of mind. When Glynis shows up, and these Livistians quickly, oh, my prince, back away.
I guess I walk forward and I say, welcome. I was not aware of a dignitary from Njord arrival, much less the prince and princess. I apologize for my countrymen's reactions on your announcement. Please, come join me. I'd like to invite you up to the table. And I want to, like, make a show of bringing them up to, like, the front of the I don't know how this party is set up, but I assume the king and queen and nobility have like a section that's like, hey, we're important. I'm gonna bring them up there to like speak with them if they will follow me.
Yes, of course they will. Vidar, the half-orc, follows closely behind you and has a certain aura of like unsureness as you do. You're unsure what exactly you said that made him feel in this or give this clear response to you. But they do follow dutifully, trying to converse with you as you take them
Sure.
to see the king.
I try to
Yeah.
make whatever like small talk that they are interested in making along the way. I am like being I don't know if I'm being overly personable, but Glynis is giving his best to like make a good first impression, while like also making a show to the people who are oohing and awing that these are like welcome guests and bring them up with everyone else.
If I may be bold, could I perhaps... and he kind of stumbles over his words, trying to seem really more polite than he probably can be with his vocabulary. And the princess speaks up. We would like to have a private meeting with you, if you don't mind, Your Highness.
I would be happy to meet with you. I intended to speak up at the tables there, but if you are more inclined, a private room, I know just the place. And we can like change course, and I guess I will take them to either the what have I been naming it? I keep forgetting. The Chamber of Judgment, that I use with Dad, or just like a sitting room somewhere.
Yeah, you go to the the Chamber of Judgment, which is just a private parlor next to the throne. And lead them in with Snefru behind you.
He closes the door behind him, looking
Yeah.
for Dizem and everyone else.
Dyson, where are you, man? What are you doing?
I am directly where they're gonna restock cheese cubes at, just to sneakily pocket
Yeah.
as many as I can.
This
I'm just
one
like
guy.
taking like entire links of like cured sausage and like putting in my robes. Very stealthily.
Okay, you were
just,
literally going to make
hoarding
lunch
some
for
food.
yourself for like 9 days straight. I get you. Sneffer, you see Dizem at like one of the main banquet tables, just right next to the doors, and you're like, all right, he's not that far away. You don't see Elva or Yonsei at all, though.
Got it.
Presumably Felix is somewhere, or he has the runs, or whatever sort of excuse we'll make Jeff come up with next time. But you enter this room. You close the door, and Vidar immediately whispers, Did your spy master not send word that we were coming?
If word was given, it was not passed along to myself. Perhaps the king knows. My father is forgetful when it comes to reminding me or letting me know when matters of the state might need my attention or warrant my attention.
Okay. He eyes his little sister, who seems to be more politically savvy of the two. And I do want to point out the age difference here. Vidar is like 2 years older than you.
Okay.
Which, for half orcs, makes him human age like 25 or 27. So he's like in the prime of his physical life and is quite foreboding. Just looking at him, like you can tell this man could wrestle a bugbear down to the ground. The little sister, however, is 17 at most, and seems very unsure of you two, especially you, Snefru, because she doesn't know who the hell you are at all, but you do have a pointed hat. I greet you both on behalf of my mother. We made contact with a man by the name of Gunnar, to pass along that we would be arriving. We are taken aback that he did not forewarn you that we would wish to speak with you. He assured me that as members of a certain organization, that he would spread that message to you both.
Are you looking for the? Are you looking to speak with someone other than me? You say to us both. Is there another member that you were looking to meet?
No, we are wishing to speak with you. We come bearing ill news, however. Have you been informed of our country's inner workings at all?
Well, I would hate to say that I am fully informed on the inner workings of your country. I am still learning the ways of politics. I am aware that your father the king, is ill or close to the end of his days, and there is the many claims pending upon the throne.
Yes.
I don't wish to speak out of turn, but I assume this is the direction your question is pointing me towards?
It is. She gestures to Vidar. His tribe and my mother have a close history, we will say. And it's no easy way of putting this, but we are definitely not able to contend with the stronger factions, either politically or militarily, and are likely going to be killed within the next 8 to 12 months due to this power difference. My father, King Mayan, is indeed on his, we call it the last legs. His court wizard And she gestures to Snafu, who has a big hat. Uh, have taken arcane measures to extend his lifespan a little bit, but he is not... I don't know how to put this fancily, so I'm just going to be blunt with what I'm about to say, and I hope you don't take offense. His way of planning to deal with the inheritance crisis is to throw all of the contenders at your country and see who survives at the end of it.
I see. That is ill tidings indeed. I thank you for coming to us and informing us of this pending threat. I
yes.
take it there is more than just a warning that you've come to speak with me about?
I am telling you your country is about to be invaded. By my country.
I see.
I do this because honor bound, or by honor, my family and his family and tribe will have to invade you. And I would beg you, / implore you, not to... I would like to put on a show, I suppose, so that we can reserve our fighting power for when the survivors, I suppose, of this war come back to claim power for themselves. And I wish to make this agreement with, of course, the promise that we will not actually be doing any damage to any of your estates or your peoples.
I think for a moment, and I smile and say, I would happily come to an accord with you to put on a great show. It is in my interest to build a fighting force of my own and prove glory on the battlefield. If that is your wish, then I would happily meet you somewhere and put on a great show to preserve your honor. I do have...
Yes, go for it. Please.
Another thought. If all of the heirs are coming to invade our country, would you not perhaps join us? We can defeat your rivals with our combined mights, and perhaps see you on the throne instead. Perhaps have a chance to mend the unfortunate state of our nation's relationship at the same time.
The princess, Elisa, will look to her brother for a moment, and will kind of awkwardly state her intentions. Your thoughts mirror my mother's and my brother's here. However, we are hoping that he will be king, and as a cord of peace and a promise of it, we could be married. And she awkwardly finishes that out. This arrangement will have to wait until the end of the war as peace negotiations. But if you are amenable to it, so is my family, as well as my brother here.
I, look her dead in the eye with, as much intensity as I can muster as, a 21-year-old boy who has no experience. And I ask very simply, are you amenable, or interested in such a proposal.
My interests or wants are irrelevant. My people's lives are at stake here. If it means that we can have a peace that can be... that our children would be able to inherit, and my country is dying and diminishing, and my father, madman that he is, wishes only for blood to be spilled, and someone has to do something.
I hold her gaze, maybe uncomfortably, I don't know, and I say, marriage is not the only way to forge an alliance. If it is not something that you wish for, we can still come to another accord. I would be happy to fight this war with your aid, defeat your rivals, and forge a path to the throne for your brother. If you desire my hand, then I can be amenable to that as well. But you spoke of your mother, your brother, your tribe's interests. What is yours?
She looks to Vidar, who is no help here at all. Because he's just studying you to see how sincere you are with this arrangement. And after a moment, historically, the only alliances that last beyond a generation are those made in blood. It would be benevolent, or I don't know of the words, but that would be the path forward if we would have true peace with our people.
It is a prudent path, but there are more ways of forging alliances in blood. I am sure plenty of blood will be spilled during the invasion.
She nods.
A shared struggle, a favor owed to the throne. It is not necessary. Think on it.
Vidar does speak up at this point.
Sure, okay.
We can discuss that after the war.
Your thoughts mirror my own, Vidar. You beat me to the point, and I guess turn away from her, and I put out a hand, like to seal an accord, kind of like a handshake, I guess.
Yeah.
Say, I would be happy to fight with you against your rivals. A peaceful end to this threat to our northern borders is, well, not peaceful, but a one-day peaceful end to our crisis on the border is a noble pursuit. And I am very pleased that you came to me with this idea. I must admit, when I saw you arrive, my thoughts closely mirrored your own proposal. I thought I might have to be pitching you.
Oh. Well, there's a reason
would like...
we have come to you and not your father.
Yes, he is a man of measured responses and slow actions.
Snafford, can you give me an insight check?
I'd be happy to.
God, I want to see it real quick. Greg, continue, please.
I'm just gonna try to shake his
17.
hand. While Sneferu is observing the inner workings of our dialogue and finding the things that are going over my head, I essentially am going to pitch him the opportunity to join my banner, right? And like, if you want to fight with us, you can fight like with the prince. We raise yours with me, but like be a champion with me, type of thing.
Before insight, I think they're going for a more covert subterfuge against their enemies. A show of a
I'm
war.
still gonna ask it anyway because this is my like.
Yeah, for sure.
This is like my jam. This is what I want, man. Big fucking half-orc prince that kicks ass. Yes, we want that.
He will shake your hand, Glynis, and state, "I would be honored to fight with a fellow royal. However, it would have to be when it is clear or when the opportunity arises for us to destroy the hammer." Which you don't understand because you don't know my king's champion, but we should discuss of our mutual enemies going forward. And Snafu, your insight. You clocked something in the eyes while Glynis was speaking specifically about his father and his own father's weakness to this. Something Vidar is clearly keeping to himself, but is like barely able to hold back like a secret, and just kind of lets Glynis continue talking rather than actively say something. There's clearly more to the situation of why he is going to the prince and not the king, with a potential alliance between the feuding houses of Niord.
Some sort of troubled past between the kingdoms, or just a lack of trust in the reputation of the Marchette king?
It could damn well be anything, but only Gunnar seems to. Apparently they have had contact with your father's spymaster, who was supposed to warn Glynis here about these two's arrival, who is currently missing in action.
Got it.
Wait,
Vidar
Gunnar is missing in action at the party?
Yes, Uncle Gunnar is not here, and no one knows where he is.
That is notable. Okay.
Yes. I would like to jump away from the Niord lore and go to Eleva real quick, who has been having servants run messages and having people come up to her while she is standing on the balcony, separating herself from the party. Oh, excuse me. Eleva, while you are sort of watching the over the curtain wall across the river, you see that there is a gathering of torches that have begun springing up on the coast, or rather on the riverfront where you and Glynis went fishing a while back. You know that these torches are the beginnings or set up to a apparent ritual that the high priest is going to be conducting over in that area. While you are sort of watching that go on, servants are coming up to you and tell you, "My lady, there is an infiltrator amongst the servants. We don't know who they are or what they're doing, but they have been orbiting around the king and Bryce Bronson for quite some time, offering all manners of vegetables like the potato and tomato and other sorts of greeneries."
Just offering starches and fruits.
See if you can set them a task that would bring them out here. Don't, if they're trying to eavesdrop, it's best we prevent that.
Of course, yes. After this servant leaves, None other than the Blade Guardian herself arrives, sort of walking around the servant who's like, oh my goodness. You turn on your heel as you hear the squawk of the maid who warned you, and see this woman who is dressed very much in a combat, almost readied state, and looks to you and says, is this balcony to look mysterious taken?
I think two can look mysterious quite together.
Perfect. She will approach you, Eluva, and ask if you are who the king said you are as a companion of the prince.
As a matter of fact, I am.
I was told by a big-hatted gnome that he would have a letter for me to give to my lady, Tafina. Her name escapes me. Not Malrot. Malo.
Hello.
I know her by the Red Blade, or Tafina. I did not know she was a noble until last year.
That is quite the title.
Yes.
She's earned for herself.
She did earn
I think
it
there is a
herself.
splendid difference between being born into a title and forging it yourself with your own two hands.
I am in agreement with you. Having everything handed to you on a silver platter, the servant with the silver platter runs away. She was just lingering like, oh my god, I am a spectator. But after being called out, she quickly vanishes to go get Yonsei.
To go get our mysterious eavesdropper.
Yes, the eavesdropper. And this woman will look to you, Elva, and you cut me as a honest or direct sort. Is the prince serious about reforming the country?
Certainly. It's a shame that Lady Malloy, fuck. It's a shame
Now it's
that
your turn to forget.
Lady Malo could not make it herself. Seems I had prepared quite the dress for nothing.
She will not say a damn thing to you at that comment, Alpha. You can give me an insight check if you would like.
Sure. If I'm being offered it, I'm going to take the offer.
Yeah.
It was such an opening to like that.
It's
would have been a
such an
great,
opening
moment. Can't believe
16.
You see that this woman is fighting every instinct to just go and say something stupid that will get her in trouble, and is like struggling here not to just be like, oh, and is just wincing painfully.
The queer community demands she says it.
I think she smiles and gestures around. Another perk of a secluded balcony. No one around to overhear.
Yes, you are correct. But I am honor bound. Anyway, back to the subject of why I'm here. If I made a snide remark to your gnomish friend that he should visit the Countess, and hinted that he may get assassinated along the way. I'm not sure if your gnome friend picked that up. But if he is being truthful, or rather if his intention is true, then that hostile, joking invitation should be replaced with a serious one. I will not parrot, that's the bird. that speaks. Parrot the Countess's suspicions, but she believes that the current king's court is filled with career bureaucrats, I believe is the polite way of saying it. And where did you even get this dress?
She sort of looks down at it. I had it custom made.
Oh, okay.
Custom tailored.
You just a random tailor here, or like a person, an artisan? Who? She will kind of trail off and forget her business here as she like compliments your attire in a roundabout way, and kind of forgets what she was originally saying.
Eleva is very pleased with herself. Eleva's very. I'm also very pleased with myself personally.
We are going to jump to Yonsei real fast. Yonsei, you have been eavesdropping on the king and Bryce Bronson. At one point, they clearly recognize you are you, and not just a random servant milling about. Like, Bronson, like, does a double take of, like, after the third entree is offered, and he's just been accepting
also does
everything.
A double take, like, just, like, in response, like, oh!
Oh, sorry,
oh
didn't realize you were the
Bryce
king.
Bronson.
Hello, Yonsei.
I had no idea I was serving you.
The king looks up and is like, "Oh yes, hello."
And the king. Gosh,
my
you could have known.
son's cousin. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. During this time,
am I technically your nephew, niece, Newport? What?
No, you're not at all.
Hi, Uncle King.
You have no claim to my family's line at all, I want to point out. Just for everyone at the table, no matter what you have heard.
Oh,
Yonsei, the
king,
practical
I'm so sorry.
jokester.
I thought you heard
31st
that,
Light
you know,
Throne.
Gilly and I actually have been talking about marriage.
No, you haven't. This is a lie. Do not believe this jester in disguise, everyone. And people are beginning to laugh.
I'm definitely not in disguise. This is just how I dress. You know, I'm very humble. And I'm
You've
so
just been
excited
offering
to
salads
be the
to
consort. Only salad.
Bryce Bronson clapped her
my
hand.
Father gets his vegetables.
Yonsei, please
So
stay a while. Stick around, listen,
sure.
and maybe learn a thing or two. Yeah, he just like takes a bite out of whatever.
Some salad.
Dish.
Yeah.
Yes, feed me. Use the fork for me.
What am I learning? Oh, I love learning.
You are going to be... You've already been eavesdropping on, like, the strange information network of how the king gets his news from the territories, but this entire table of, like, 40 people are all kind of, like, sitting around together, real close up. You've been watching the weird social interactions and, like, oh, yes, someone, from the count, blah, 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 is wanting to put a claim on Baron Weimark's little household, and like everyone laughs at this because it is like a massive joke that the country's strongest fighter is going to be dethroned by fucking anyone. But the news comes back. It turned like the game of telephone up the chain of like, oh man, Baron Weimark is about to beat some guy's ass, who is like an upstart count. And he's just like, oh, that's horrible. We should quickly intercept that poor count who is about to get his head bashed in by that devout man on our border. Everybody, a toast for king, or not king, blah, I'm getting drunk. Baron Weimark. And there's a whole round of applause for a man who did not even bother to show up or send a representative or do anything at all. He's just out somewhere on like the borders of the country.
Question, because you say he didn't send a representative. the young woman Weimar, is she not related to him?
No, she is, but she is not here on his behalf.
Sure. So, okay. All right. Fair. All right. I'm learning things about the world. Thank you.
You're great. Yonsei, at one point, a servant comes up to you and says, friend, we are needed, with the head servant and butler. And just the most stupid excuse ever you've ever heard before, Yonsei, to get you out of this room.
No, actually, I'm hanging out with the king, my future father-in-law.
No, take them away quickly. Yes, go, Yonsei.
Future
Leave.
father-in-law.
No. Please leave. Servants.
Did I mention that, by the way? Did I?
Quickly, before they fake their death in front of us.
Well, no, see, joke's on you that someone's already dead.
There's a loud gasp in the other room, as though, like, on
exactly.
cue, someone's heart just
timing.
explodes.
Yeah.
A servant rushes into the room with, like, blood on them, like, fake blood on them, and shouts, "There's been a murder!"
See?
And everyone gasps aloud, knowing the annual bit that is Johann faking his death and beginning the, like, after party, essentially, of the murder mystery of who killed Johann this year.
Alright, I'll see you later, Daddy King. Service calls.
Don't you dare call me Daddy! He shouts in anger as you leave. Yonsei, you were taken to
Future Rock
Eleva.
concert coming through. Second line to the throne, don't mind me.
Yonsei, you were taken to Eleva, who seems to be sharing a almost romantic moment with this Blade Guardian, who is trying desperately to stay on task.
What's up, evil? You look like a snake. I just called the king daddy.
I think Eleva's face just drops.
No, it's
oh
fine.
my,
It's part
what
of
a
the bit.
perfect
It's part of the
excuse. This
bit.
sounds
It's
like a
okay.
private meeting that you two need to have. The Blade Guardian sweats,
What?
puts
No,
the
you can
spaghetti in
stay.
their pocket, and quickly departs.
What?
Bye, I get
Wait,
you want a
wait,
vegetable?
wait.
I'm so sorry, I have to go!
Do
I've stayed
want-
too long, it's my
you
bedtime!
want a lettuce?
See
And a
you next
spinach?
year if you show up in our territory.
A celery? You want a
She
celery?
takes
The
a
Blade
celery.
Guardian's name is no longer Marsul,
Alright.
it's Jane DM.
The king, my father-in-law, would like to let you know that it's great that you were here.
I don't believe you.
I'm.
Why does no one believe me?
We'll be
Very
accepting
believable.
the invitation
We are? We are!
at the fleeing.
And bring my cousin husband with me.
And as she's walking away, I'm going to fucking grab Yonsei. I am grabbing him.
Sorry. Goodbye, everyone.
What the hell are you
Yonsei is
doing?
thrown into
What?
the moat, undoubtedly.
God.
I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm having a great time. I'm doing my job. What are you doing? You're just standing out here all mysterious in the dark. You think you look cool?
I'm working on politics.
Oh, I'm
Also, why are
working
you
on
eavesdropping on the
politics.
king?
What? Why would I not do that?
Because I have people eavesdropping on the king. We don't need to
can
both be
eavesdrop
eavesdropping
together.
on the
Listen,
king.
4 years are better than 2.
Oh shit.
Um,
Literally,
saying.
like, oh, I can't eavesdrop on the king because you are
Cool.
eavesdropping on the king.
I will introduce you to my
Introduce me to who?
servants. I will
I
introduce
already
you to
met
my...
them. I had dinner with them just the other day. Do you know how long I've been in this position?
They did
Alright, I'm
not
getting a
recognize
salary at
you.
the end of the week.
I was told that there was an unknown individual eavesdropping on the king's conversation.
It's me.
Yes, it is you.
I'm not unknown.
I would like to know that it's you.
I'm the cousin.
I would just like to know that it's
In-law.
you. Because if it's
Person.
not you, then it's a threat to be worried about.
Oh. Alright. Well, next time... Did you not know I was doing this? Maybe your relationship with your servants is not as good as you think it is if they didn't tell you that I was hanging out.
They don't
For like
recognize
a
you.
week.
They cannot recognize you.
They don't recognize... Oh, that means my disguise was great. I was doing great.
Yes, your disguise
I'm
was
really
very
impressed
excellent.
that Bryce Bronson recognized me, actually, because even, like, Gilly walked past me at some point, which hurt.
Your disguises are very skillful and artful.
Whoa, a compliment! Oh, God. Do you want, like, do you want a copper from my salary this week? Do you want... I'm just saying. Are you paying these servants extra for doing all this extra work for you? I'm convincing them to start a union, and I'm wondering if I should consider you the boss or the king the boss.
They are my servants, yes.
Right,
Please do
okay,
not
so
start
you're
a
the
union.
boss. Alright, well, expect a letter from the representative soon. That's me.
I don't think... Okay. Go
Okay.
eavesdrop on the king or whoever you want. I will be here.
Thank you! Actually, I mean, you kind of blown my cover a little bit there. Well, the king did, kind of. But I got to call him daddy, which I think is like a plus. And now Johan has killed himself in another room, and I can only imagine that me re-entering this party is going to end with me being involved in the murder somehow. So I think it'd be really funny. And then Johan's going to cast Disguise Self and turn themselves into Johan if I do this instead.
Okay, you cast Disguise Self
And
to
Johan
be...
goes back into the party.
Oh, who died? The next part of the mystery turns around as, like, now it's like, who's the killer, but also who's the victim happens. As unbeknownst to you, Yonsei, the person who died is wearing a mask that makes it look like Johan, that he has been wearing, kind of Mission Impossible style. So now it's like, you've spoiled, accidentally, the Johan isn't Johan reveal. And it's just because it's gone, like, out of hand entirely. Of, like, now you two are running, like, you are the ultimate red herring because you beat Johan to the reveal of your Johan.
On accident. Like,
okay.
just as a bit.
We have to jump back
It's the
now
best
to
party ever.
Glynis and Snefru. And kind of Dizem, who has run out of cheese and probably would stick his head into the room out of curiosity. Yeah? Dizem, will you let me hoist you into the scene?
I'll knock on the door.
You knock on the door.
It's never
Snefru
like-
undoubtedly checks it, sees who it is, brings in Dizem. Dizem's introduced. And Vidar and
Give me more
Alyssa.
cheese.
Mid-sentence will, like, while you open the door, hear out, "There's been a murder!" in the distance, and Vidar stands up. "It wasn't me!" Just...
Well,
I put a hand on him, like, don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Jesters in this kingdom have a strange sense of humor. It's part of the party.
Oh, ours was killed, a few years back.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Are
very
you
sure.
sure?
I've had a lot of.
Funny thing about jesters, it's that they like to pretend they're dead. You might check and see if he's somewhere else, but
Whew. Yes.
I-
Vidar sits down and continues to explain the Njord situation. Who's ready for a bunch of lore and notes? I hope someone's taking notes.
Me.
Okay.
Ready.
This is not going to be role-played in character. I have to explain to you the Njord situation as quickly as I can. So at the top, there's the king, who is a 57-year-old man who has not aged well. His name's King Mayan, also known as the Boule Slayer. King Mayan has been sapped of energy, despite being a somewhat high-level character, and is now worried that when/if he dies, his children are all going to absolutely obliterate the throne and kill each other and send Njord into an age where they will never recover at all. So his great idea is to entrust his family as well as his army to a man named Emil literally Emil Hammer, also known as the King's Gavel. This man is his champion as well as his most valued enterprise, I suppose. For Emil, 35 now, has been in his court since he was 6 years old. So 29 years of faithful service, kind of at the hand of the king. He acted as squire, and then he just elevated himself and made distinction purely based off combat ability, which Mayan values a lot. When he went to go slay the boule that ate Vidar's mom, Emil was there as like a 12 or 13-year-old, and apparently like handed the man many a javelin to hunt down this beast. So Vidar has been training under Emil Hammer and knows him quite well and sees him somewhat as a like older brother figure, which kind of pains him, saying that like Emil Hammer is a devout worshiper of, and he looks to his sister in this moment, who will speak out. And John has to look up this god's name because he's already
coming full circle.
It's coming full circle, yes. What is your god's name? I have to pull up their character sheet. Alyssa will reveal a holy symbol underneath her boule shell, and kind of flips it out. And you realize this is a strange crescent, almost horseshoe-like symbol. This is the holy symbol of our new pantheon. Or not new pantheon, new divine patron. His name is long, but it is the title, He Who Watches Those That Struggle. It is not a very succinct name, to say the least. However,
He who watches those who struggle?
Yes.
And do I recognize it as a symbol of Vermeerd?
This is the same symbol
like
that,
all
that
capital?
the bandit captain had. This was the holy symbol Gunnar was investigating before he didn't show up with it again.
Got it.
It has a bunch of hyphens between each word.
Jesus. God forbid
Like
this guy ever
spider
goes to
dash
D&D.
man, you know? It's just he dash who. She explains, I'm not actually a practicing believer, but I'm obligated to have this symbol as part of the royal family. Much like how you worship, I believe, a bear god?
Yeah, let's say that.
Yeah, same similar situation for me. Vidar explains that Emil Hammer is like a champion of this deity as well as the king himself. John has to go find where he was. So, Emil Hammer, whatever you want to call it, is going to be leading this invasion of Livistio, with essentially every noble household who wants to throw their lot in and kind of support the king. The last kind of information he will give you, or not just give you, but before I open up the floor to questions, is that this invasion is supposed to occur during the, like, Great Thaw that is going to happen between spring and winter, or winter and spring. So, this is gonna be, like, a relatively soon invasion. Coming from the north as well, so chances are your castle will be the first target.
So, Emel's leading this, but this is a contest amongst the children of the king. What role are they playing?
They are going to be captains, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. Or they will be given essentially the goal of gaining as much glory in combat and war as possible. And from the survivors, because he's expecting some of them to die off in combat. From the survivors, he's going to pick one to become his true heir, since he has refused to name an heir despite having like 8 kids. Essentially, each one of the big contenders, Vidar not being one of them, so Vidar explains where he comes in on this. So Emil Hammer was supposed to kind of like take him and like share in Emil's achievements, and the Hammer, or the King's Gavel as his title is known, kind of dismissed him and said, like, you do not have what it takes to become king. I essentially trained you. Sure, you're a good martial guy, but you're not all there, kid. And Emil is now kind of playing Kingmaker on behalf of his liege, and kind of dismissed Vidar immediately so that he could look and truly show himself off as like a neutral arbitrator as he leads this invasion. Which is kind of why Vidar has come to you now as like, yeah, I'm considered like chaff, and I would like to not die in a war and have all my tribe and people under me get absolutely murdered by my conniving brothers and sisters.
Which brother or sister are you most worried about, if I may intercede?
He will tell you about... His name is Bjornstein.
Is that one word?
No.
Don't worry, we got him. We're gonna buy 99 red balloons. He's done.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
What?
I don't understand the reference. All right. Bjornstein is the son of Bjarnstein. Real cool naming convention these guys got, you quickly understand. Who is the bastard brother of the king. Bjarn is a somewhat traveling figure in the Njord line, who is very much the adventurous noble who has returned to oversee his brother's death, essentially. And notably, Bjarn, despite being the older of the two brothers, like he's 59, Mayan's 57, Bjarn has aged exceptionally well. Like, just, no one's sure if he has, like, weird, like, almost half-elven blood in him or something, or giving him, like, inhuman youth, I suppose. But he does not look over 30 years old, despite being twice that age. And that is the son, or the father of the son, who is in competition with Vidar, this Bjorn character. Bjorn himself is a puppet to his father. He just does whatever his dad tells him to. But his father is by far one of our most dangerous men. And is probably the most dishonorable of our entire royal family. He is a bastard, but he has earned his achievements through nefarious means.
Well, are you guys gonna be like safe returning?
Probably not, no. But we have household
you
guards. I'm sorry?
Unless you have need return, I would have you stay here. We would offer you safety, and allow us to prepare our forces and operation for the coming invasion?
It is not safe for us here either. It would be better for us to return to our families so that we may maneuver them and not be seen as treacherous, conniving, and scheming agents of your court. They do not know we are sharing secrets, but they do know we are here.
Very well. Know that I will find safekeeping for you and your families, and whatever men or tribes you wish to bring in support of yourselves and the cause. If I must, I will speak with men outside of the court to find that safekeeping if you are worried of the court's intentions. But if you need return to your homelands, then please do not feel as if I will keep you here.
No, we must leave tonight, lest our competitors fear something.
Well, know the offer stands.
He nods.
My prince, it
Gratitude.
comes to me that we should make a great play of their
Departure?
exactly. We should make a great play of it.
I agree. That is a wonderful idea, Sneferu. Perhaps
An assumed insult.
an insult.
An assumed
As well
insult.
as, I was going to say that should we give them a fake rumor to make it appear as that they gained useful information against us?
That's an excellent idea, Dizem.
Would that be helpful for you? I look to Vidal and Alyssa.
Say that one more time. I'm so sorry.
Would a rumor of something going on in our court to return home with be of use?
It'd be useful for both of us, probably. I think.
He looks to Alyssa, who snaps her fingers and says, "You should punch my brother in the head." And Vidar is like, "Why? Why would you say that?" And she's like, "No, this is a great idea. I like where you all are going with this. You punch him in the head,
Okay.
and he is so strong and sturdy, he won't care. Because, Vidar, you get punched in the head by cows, man. Or kicked in the head. I don't know what your legend is." And she's like, "A centaur hit me once, okay?" Like, whatever. It doesn't matter. You survived a stomping from a cow. So, Glynis will punch him. It will be seen as a great insult. But you could say, I don't know, you're defending the honor from us Njord barbarians, or what have you. And Vidar can look back and shit-talk you, saying that, like, "Oh, you're not strong at all. I didn't even feel it." So it's a double win for all of us, right?
Yeah, and I can get thrown through the door.
You want to get thrown through a door? Vidar, can you lift it?
Yes.
Like, why are you
You
always...
like,
I'm not your workhorse, lady.
you throw it through
Sister,
the door.
come on.
Glynis comes to the rescue, punches him in the head.
I had a much more subtle idea. I had an idea that
Oh,
we would splash some wine on your pretty white shirt, my prince, and we would
well,
have
that makes him seem like a snob.
Mistress Elisa say, "How dare you?" And then, you could, if you so chose, throw Dizem through some furniture or whatever he chooses.
Alyssa is stunned by this much more subtle approach, even though it has furniture being thrown and broken. She's like, "Oh, yes, that would probably be better. Or you could punch
the
my
fake
brother
rumor.
in the head," she states. Looking at Glynis.
Okay, so here's the order of operations. My man, Dizem, who is a trusted cleric in my army that I'm building,
Yes.
is, maybe he doesn't hold his liquor as good as we thought, or maybe the cheese got to him, who knows, spills wine on the lady's dress. The lady cries out, "How dare you!" Vidal takes my man and throws him through a door. in which prompts an angered prince to throw the best punch he can at the behemoth and throw them out of the party, basically, at some point, so that they get to leave as they desire.
Okay.
Yeah.
This will
Alright.
work great as a
like it.
misinformation
Flawless.
campaign, for sure.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I thought we were also just doing like a fake rumor about like, oh, we have trouble at the southern borders. We need to send more troops down there, so our north is going to be less protected. Not like we're going for that, but yeah, we can just also just have the entire fake rumor be me throwing through a door.
I like it.
Before we even try this charade, I will. We need a way to contact each other, so I will describe. I don't know a great way to contact them yet, but I guess
Black
I would
Owl?
describe. Yeah, I guess I would describe what my familiar looks like.
they will nod their head. We should exchange banners, or
I am
press
so
or-
excited you asked that. I pull out the banner that has been in my pocket the whole time. Do you think this is thick or what?
quite impressive, Your Highness. She states that she looks at the unicorn, doesn't understand. Is this supposed to be a giant unicorn or a regular crown or banner jokes aside, the last thing I need to get out before we end our session is like right as the charade is about to get on, like Vidar and Dizem are like preparing to, like this is how it's gonna go. Like they're doing the test push. Elisa comes to you, Glynis, and will whisper in kind of while everyone's distracted. Your Highness, if I could have a private word.
Yeah. I just do we just I guess I usher her to the corner of the room or something while Dizem is being like fake tossed.
Grab me here because
Yeah,
you get more
yeah.
momentum out of the throw.
You have so many
Sneferu's
weird
giving
tentacles on your
pointers, like,
body.
no, that won't be realistic.
Don't worry
enough.
about it. They're normal. They're not weird, guys. Come on.
Alyssa will explain to you that rather, let's do this in character. Your Highness, my brother does not know this. Simpleton that he is, and pure of heart that he claims to be, is not very clever. Let's just say that. He has been informed of something that you should be more understanding of, I would hope. Inside of your court, there is a shape changer.
The werewolf. It's real.
A person who could look like a... rather change their form to any humanoid they have seen or gained access to.
I nod my head gravely, and I lean in and whisper back. This is a suspicion I've had. I have contracted a uncle of mine from my mother's homeland to look into it. Hopefully it will be resolved.
I see. I know not when they will make their move, but I know their mission, which Vidar should have told you, and why we are coming to you. The shape changer, his name or its name, whatever you wish to call it, is named Signe, and they are going to kill your father. And that will be when we invade.
Understood. I thank you for bringing this to my attention. and I will do what I can to act on it appropriately, but subtly.
She nods. Thank you for your hospitality. She states as Vitor's like 3, 2, 1, and then throws Dyson through the door. And I believe we will end our session there, with many dramatics happening.
So I just have a quick question. We're ending our session here. Is the party still happening? Are we gonna have like part 2 next, like this Sunday?
We're going to have, we're going to do the ritual that night, because Glynis is going to be summoned for a religious ceremony for the High Priest. You have a, what do you call it, symbolic representative part to play. Just as future king, you should learn this. But other than that, it'll be essentially open to the air what you guys want to do. I do want to point out... Oh, yes, go for it.
I guess I just say that because, like,
if
in this hour and a half, I've been sequestered with the 2 nobles from Bullia the entire time, and I do want to, like, grab a couple of people while still in party time. I assume this wasn't a, like, you've lost that opportunity, because
no.
I think there would be, like, multiple phases.
Yeah, we can do some retroactive stuff for Glynis. Okay. Glynis is... Okay. Yeah. We have essentially, like, 6-ish hours where Glynis was just kind of missing in action, in which case we can, like, rewind the clock and see what was Glynis up to. As well as the party doesn't technically end when the Njord people get kicked out. This will be a highly dramatic moment. Johann's murder still hasn't been solved, but this is kind of like a joking thing, which is super non-serious, and I don't know if finding out who killed the guy pretending to fake his death is worthy of our time. As like,
especially since Yancey's alive and well, actually.
True.
And is serving vegetables.
When Dino gets thrown through the door, he just lands on the fake body.
Yes. But I do wish to knock out the druid / high priest stuff tomorrow. That will be important for Glynis going forward. The final thing I want to point out to you guys, or rather reiterate, is your country's going to get invaded. You have just been keyed in, and you know that it's coming in actual spring. Supposedly when the ground unfreezes and winter ends. That's not a lot of time. It's currently February. You maybe have a month or 2 to prepare.
We gotta montage it.
What's the name of the shape changer that she said again?
Signe.
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 All right.
Yeah.
So Yancey's just gonna walk around like whispering Signe to people and to see if they react, right?
Maybe next time once Yancey gets caught up.
Signe say what? It was Yancey.
Next time Yancey dies and he's just still there.
Johann died again.
Oh no. But that is on the to-do list for next week.
I just wanted to put some like to-dos on there that still involve the party if like we needed them. But it sounds like we have time.
Yeah, you guys will have plenty of time. Okay. The only thing that is scheduled on my end is doing this ritual for Glynis, and then it is quite literally up to you guys. What you do with this information is fully going to choose the direction in which our campaign will go. There's still time to do a little bit of politicking and maybe getting Tafina on board prior to the war effort. But there is a deadline that you don't know the exact date of that is coming. And you should all keep that in mind moving forward. Okay. Guys, do we want to do shout-outs Well, I want to do a shout out. Jeff, where are you, man? We missed you.
We need the
Oh,
champion.
We need the champion. He could be dueling Vidar right now for crazy prestige and honor. Oh, unfortunate.
Poor Jeff. He's on a French transport right now.
Yeah. I really hope he's doing okay.
Shout out to Smiling Sam. Always a real one.
He did a shout
Love that
out.
guy.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Seems inappropriate after the Felix shout out.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Well, Felix won the duo.
Shout out to the one true daddy, the king. Really happy to be part of the family.
Damn it, Yonsa.
Second
Looking
line to the
forward.
throne.
Looking forward to being second in line to the throne.
We
It's
ignore
really-
the
it's really
sister
short.
entirely. Okay.
Did Weimark
Reputation.
win his
Does
duel?
anyone...
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
No, go for it, Rube.
Weimark had a duel with some sort of baron or something.
That was kind of just a joke / rumor mill and game of telephone that Yonsei got a hold of.
Got it.
The Baron Weimark is like, no one wants to fight this dude, right? This is someone that Glynis desperately wants to be in his warband to carry him. Like the early missions in Fire Emblem, you know? He's like a heavy
Yeah.
knight that doesn't grow at all or has a cap.
Oh yeah.
Any Fire Emblem fans in the chat? No.
I've never
No.
played any of the games.
That's fair.
The only game Red has played is called Dizem.
Yeah, you might have heard of it. It's pretty popular.
Dies
We've
of
heard
Honor.
of it before.
Guys
It
in
includes other hit characters.
There's some weird tentacles involved though, gotta watch out.
They're normal tentacles.
The antagonist, some die.
Some True.
Yeah.
Reputation.
Shout out to Eleva's dress.
God damn it!
Oh, yeah.
We need to move on.
Shout out to lesbian
Okay.
lesbian moments on the balcony.
Who doesn't like?
Happy crash
the
on those.
Would have been
introduction?
so much more lesbian if it was actually the Red Blade. Would have been
I know.
infinitely better.
It
I
would
had
not.
Yeah, I
I
was looking
had
for the-
flirts
the-
prepared. I
I
had
was
like
looking for the
asking them
top
to dance
lesbians.
prepared, and then Yonsei barged in. It was,
Damn.
and things prepared, and nothing went to plan.
Such is the battlefield, Eluva. All good plans
Battlefield
are
of
undone by Dyson. Uh,
I'm so good at my
Love.
job.
Yeah.
Baron Weimark would be my Hagen.
reputation time. Who wants to volunteer to gain or subtract a point from our many factors?
Well, I don't have to be thrown through a door. I feel
Yeah.
like that
Servility
deserves
for you.
something.
Yeah.
Definitely servility.
I'm going up and above my
That is servility.
job in this thing.
That
Please
is
throw me
servility.
through this
Servility.
door on behalf
Please,
of
my
prince.
leash, throw me through a door for your
For your cool ability to punch this guy in the face, throw me through this door. It'll look great.
I'll throw myself through the door for you, my lord.
No, he had the guy you have to punch has to throw me through the door. It's a really complicated system.
So,
How
I
dare
spill
you
wine
strike
on a
my
dress.
tentacle man! Pow!
I spilled wine on the
Ugh.
dress before I got thrown through the door.
Dysum, go ahead and update that to servility to whatever it is +1.
I think it's now just 2.
Nice. Such servility.
I'm a great servant.
I think
Who's
Elva
next?
gets another to ambition.
Definitely another 2 ambition for Eleva.
Another to ambition. Do you
Two
agree with that,
ambition.
Elva?
Why two? Also, what do you mean another two ambition? Don't you just mean
Another
another
one,
ambition?
two
Another
ambition.
one,
One.
to ambition.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
An additional
That's what I said.
ambition.
An
Maybe-
additional ambition.
Maybe Wonder Romance?
Ambition +1.
Wonder Romance.
Yeah.
It's a new
Once
category.
me being
Romantic
able to
ambition.
hear things properly first try. Yeah, I think ambition sort of flows. She didn't really do too much today, but styling on the court I think would definitely be an ambitious thing to do.
For sure. Not only is that ambitious, but it is like public, right? Elva
Oh, yeah.
styled literally on everyone. And there may be a social consequence to that for Glynis. Maybe not like a big thing, but like, hey, your companion, ... needs to be spoken to. But yeah, go ahead and what's your
Beyonce was a
ambition
literal
now?
servant.
My
Beyonce
ambition is up to
into-
6.
God.
Damn.
Ability for Yonsei.
Servility for
Little,
Yonsei,
little,
you said?
little bit ambitious.
Tamer says Glynis +1, talking with a noble accent.
Nice.
What does Yonsei get, if anything?
Servility. She served
Yeah,
everyone.
I was a literal servant.
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
I
Yeah.
gave vegetables to the king. You know, insightful
She
of
Pretend
his
is
to-
like
health.
+1 submissive for calling the king daddy.
Pretended to air hump behind the person we were talking to.
This is not that kind of campaign, guys. I'm sorry.
I didn't do it.
I know.
That was very much.
I have a quick mechanical question. So, what happens when one of your stats goes down to 0?
Something fun for me.
Something fun for you? Alright, I gotta be super honorable from here on out, y'all.
Are you at 1
No, let's go down
honor?
to 0.
Can't be seen doing anything bad.
I'm at 1 loyalty.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's what I
Loyalty.
started with.
If you
I
want
just
to
showed up one
upgrade
day.
loyalty instead of servility, I think it's the same no matter what you're
Well, my
going to
servility is-
ignore.
2. Now.
Oh, so
So-
they're both
It doesn't change much. I just walked up one day. I didn't start with my stats already.
And Glynis said, "You will be mine."
Yes,
Kind
you
of.
looked me in my eyes and said, "You will be mine. You're exotic. I want you."
He thinks your tentacles are exotic, not weird.
The most princely thing
Someone
he's ever
appreciates
done.
them.
They're not normal, they're exotic.
So far, I've gotten more compliments from the prince than any of the people trying to be his tutors. So I'm up here while they're down here.
True.
Damn.
Snefru, do you gain
Fighting
anything?
words.
I don't think I gained anything. A lot of what I did this session was just looking at people.
Well, what you
Okay.
did do was make sure I didn't screw up our one form of contact with an important NPC.
That is why I followed you. I was worried about that.
I would have taken it down a much different route.
I think
I was worried
Snefru
about
is taking quite a bit for the team here, being the responsible adult, and kind of being the good visor, or whatever those vizier, that's what they're called.
Mhm.
So
Who is,
either
like,
I would say
In the background, asking the right questions, picking up on the right signals. That's got to be worth something, right?
I would say either 1 to servility or
Maybe
I'm
loyalty.
gonna go with honor.
Or
Bro,
Yeah,
loyalty.
you're
I
very
sat at the
honorable.
corner and
It's not
made
like it's-
sure everything went according to Keikaku.
it's not the same
And-
type of honor that Felix gets for
and
winning
then
battles. It's
he-
a type of honor of doing the good things.
And
doing
then
the
he
correct-
saved the honor of like the traveling dignitaries when he came up with the punch plan, right? Like I think that is the most appropriate of the attributes.
Snefru, take a point in honor.
Yes, sir.
What
I had
does
to
that bring
refresh
it up
roll
to?
20.
Are you
I have
our
4
most
honor.
honorable?
I don't think
Most
so. I have 4.
dishonorable.
I would imagine Felix is our
Second most
most
dishonorable. Ooh, I think Felix
Oh.
has 5 in honor.
Felix has 5 honor and 6 loyalty, guys.
He's really good at his job.
Why am I not at these levels? Like, what is going on?
Mine go 1, 2, 3, 2. So I'm there. Very there.
Okay.
4363.
I have an
Glynis.
argument. All right, I don't think jesters are supposed to be honorable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Glynis, I believe
And
this
our
is
prince.
a ambitious episode for you, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I wanted it to be more ambitious. I'm a little bit
Like,
bummed
oh, we going to
that
war?
my
All right.
my targets as a potential alliance was like, hey, you're like the youngest siblings. You want to like align with me and like I'll help put you on the throne? And they were like, hey, you're gonna get invaded. Do you want to team up? And I was like, yes, actually. That's exactly what I wanted.
They saw you were like, that's the big brother I never had.
You beat me to it.
They came here with a mission in mind. They're
They
happy
too
to get
called
kicked
the King
out.
Daddy.
Please take a point of ambition, Glynis.
All right, will do.
And now it's time for experience, guys.
Whoa.
We have been doing a fuck ton of roleplay, and I love it. I'm needing to check up my distribution.
Can I get 1 point of experience for every vegetable the king ate?
He ate
Oh
no
yeah,
vegetables.
you weren't here for this, Greg, but I will give you 0.01 XP from our introduction.
The summary was a basket of BS.
It was great. All right, it was a group effort. Okay, we
It was
worked
a group-
together.
It was like a
It
group
was
project where none of us did it until the day of.
Yeah.
It's really obvious that it was just completely blundered.
Let me
So you can
do-
have that on your character sheet.
We all
I'll present that
procrastinated, but
away
we
from
did it together.
All
That's what
right,
counts.
wonderful.
We have.
That'll
I have
bring
to
me
go. I
down
have to go
to-
pick up my car from the shop.
Wait, can you wait like 2 seconds so I can actually get
Yes, I
experience
can
now?
wait. I'm just.
Thank
letting
you
know.
so much.
Why are
Alright.
your... Why is it so bright where you are?
Me? Because
Yeah,
I'm.
like, why are you...
I'm in California, baby.
Oh, California's not that bright.
Yeah,
Well, open your
I'm looking
windows,
at-
you fucking.
I do have a shade. That other session where I got blasted in the face, I installed a shade.
I think you
Nice.
also have a blur on the background.
Like, if you
of
look
your
outside,
camera.
there
Thank you.
is... It's darkness. I can't see anything out there.
It's storming here
Get to
in
where the sun
Texas
is,
right
man.
now.
I mean, look at
time is-
Eleva's screen. It's pitch black.
Yeah, it's pitch black outside for me too.
If I turn off this light, it's gonna be dark in my room.
Yeah, I don't even have a light on. This is just natural lighting.
Why?
Guys, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dramatic was this episode, you feel?
Solid 6.5.
I think
It was
it's-
like a solid 5 up until the point where we were.
Oh no,
we were gonna get
King's getting
invaded,
assassinated. 8.
and the king's gonna get assassinated.
Yeah, I was gonna
The
say.
king's getting
Yeah.
assassinated.
There's
The
a lot
country's
going
getting
on.
invaded.
I called the king daddy. That's an 8.
No.
Elva is getting into romance. King's getting assainated.
By the
we're
way,
getting
did I beat out Johan at a joke for once?
You did.
So 8.11.
Yeah.
You think
Fucking
8.11
8
out
and
of
a half,
10?
baby. The 10 for me.
Dog's being irresponsible.
Greg, from what you saw, what would you consider this on the drama level?
On the drama level, I honestly consider it fairly low. I think the king being assassinated is like a big deal, so I guess it
But he
raises
didn't
it from
actually
being-
die, so.
Like the plot to assassinate a king is a big deal, and we learned that at the very end. So I think that bumps it up from being super low. But I mean, like, what I saw was a cheese thief, a veggie
I didn't
gag,
steal it.
and I don't know what Sneferu did other than accompany me to talk with these nobles and form an alliance. And then I saw,
Caused him no problems, is what he did.
I saw Sixpence None the Richer playing underneath a balcony scene. So I think that's like I'd say it's like a 5, maybe, to me. 5 or maybe a 6 if we're just gonna be like, we
Okay.
really think the king plot is a big deal.
But I called the king daddy.
Well, and the kingdom's going to be invaded.
Yes,
Mhm.
we started a new quest, which is called The Kingdom's Getting Invaded. That is worth experience. We have progressed the Red Blade storyline a little bit.
We learned
You've now
there's a shapeshifter in the court.
Yeah, that's part of the same thing.
The Among Us has happened.
Shifter we already kind of knew about because my uncle came last session and was like, "I need to study demons, and we don't trust someone in your court," which like kind of feels like a reveal.
It's a werewolf.
And then
all pointing to werewolves.
No.
Johan's a werewolf?
You have changed.
Yeah.
So from your interactions with the Blade Guardian, you went from a jokingly hostile invitation to a somewhat sincere one from the Red Blade, which is somewhat important for you guys specifically, especially now that you are knowingly getting into some traumatic war bullshit. So I'm gonna give you all... that is 105 experience points.
All right.
Wow, thank you.
Did anybody level up? I know we're getting close to someone's level 3.
I would need 15 more experience points to level up.
Alright, you guys gotta argue for 15 experience points right now. For Glynis' sake.
So...
I am around...
Let's see.
100 XP away from leveling up. That's a lie. I'm so far.
Glynis punched an orc champion of a foreign kingdom.
I was thinking the similar thing as you, but let me pitch something. We haven't rolled for the punch. So, if I throw a punch that surprises this guy, that hits him hard enough that it actually, like, leaves a mark and hurts, like, I think that, like, I, like, defeat him in that moment enough for 15 experience points. But if it's a weak-ass punch that he just shrugs off, he's like, oh, I'm aligning with this bitch. Oh, then I don't.
Okay. I want to see an attack roll. You'll have to beat his AC.
I believe in you.
He is wearing padded armor, so he has 11 plus
I'm
dex.
I'm a monk, so I get unarmed strike on this. So we're just
martial
going
arts.
for it.
Martial arts his ass.
That's a 23.
That's a 23, a nat 19. You definitely hit him. Let's see how hard you hit him.
Oh, okay. Yep. For 4 bludgeoning damage. That is decent.
A good hit. That'd kill some people.
That would kill your average commoner.
Some people. That kills a chicken. For sure.
Kills a house cat.
It does kill a house cat.
The people in the
no
chat
house
Let's
cats
see.
were harmed.
A lot of XP.
You surpass AC by 10 plus 4. Alright, here's what I'll do.
Get 14 XP and get fucked.
So that's kind of what I was going for here. However, you are a monk, so do you want to roundhouse kick him for the last? If you hit him with a roundhouse kick, he's not expecting. So in the court, as our final scene, Dyson goes through the door, a big kerfuffle is had, Glynis punches him in the head, like, dead on, and comes with the fucking roundhouse kick up. Let's see
I
it.
get advantage on the roundhouse kick, because this guy has no idea it's coming.
He has no idea, for sure. Go for it.
Poor guy.
You hit him.
14.
You're clear by 1. Take your 15 experience points.
All right, I leveled a 3.
You leveled a 3.
Let's hear it, everyone.
Good job.
Congrats. That's huge. That's huge.
That will be
Level
it
3
for
monk is
us
big.
tonight. I hope you all had a lovely time. Everyone, take care. Have a good night. And we'll see you Sunday. Next week. Or this week? It's next week. See ya! That's the wrong one. There we go. See ya!